Oh my days, oh my days, oh my days. Welcome viewers. I have somebody right next to me that's a little bit blacked out right now, but he should be coming back onto screen very, very soon. That is the one and only Eugene. Viewers, you may have just seen that little sketch which I put up there. This was done by a user, his name is Billy. I will get his full details. He'll be coming onto the show hopefully very shortly. But yeah, welcome to the show. This is usually the time when I normally turn around to Eugene and say, Eugene, how are you? And he's not quite there yet. He's on silent there for a second. But okay, what I will do, I'm here. You're back.
I'm here. Now just having a drink. All right. Hi guys, long time no see. I'm back. Yeah, just don't mind my voice. Been Chinese New Year celebrations. I'd like to wish all you guys who are celebrating Lunar New Year out there, or have a good Lunar New Year. All right. I don't know, smoking a lot. I've been having a few days off and all that, so the cigarettes burns much faster then.
I swear that.
But guys, I swear that
kids, you can see
smoking is bad for your health, right? Please don't do it.
That's right. Generally speaking, if you ever see me do this, right, then you know what I'm doing. I'm having a smoke, but I don't like to show my face in really doing that. Eugene, Chinese New Year for you. You've been working. I'm sure you've been keeping your fingers on the pulse when it comes to Spurs. We just finished February,
and Conte is still here.
It has happened. I mean, in a way, it's been kind of quick, but at the same time, it's been quite eventful. It's like
as usual. Being Spurs.
I mean, if a lot of things happen, then my mind would have lots of things to capture onto and say what a long month it was. But it seems to me that you were waiting until last.minute.com, 24 hours, boom, things got done. That seems to be quite familiar. Shall we step back and have a little look at the at other viewers and see who's actually here? Because I think they actually want to say big up to you, by the way. Let's have a little wee look. Eugene, it seems that Mr. K's come out with "Come on, you Spurs." Hi, Eugene. And there doesn't seem to be a comment before that. And it doesn't seem to me that your comment's before that. So I think you're all the way down here, bro. In sixth, Eugene. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Talk to K. Levy out. Eugene, what's going on? Our competition seems to be... I thought, you know what, today you might get in there before me, but...
I was
what
asleep.
Happened? You were asleep. That's always been the same excuse before, right? But anyway, you missed out again.
No, you started this as a competition. I didn't.
Right? Actually, you know what? Last week you got in first. You before me anyway. Go on.
There were a lot of people before us nowadays. Everybody's trying to get in there before us nowadays.
But it's a competition. It's a healthy
guys,
one,
right?
It's a healthy competition.
Yeah.
Right. Footy Live saying hi, Mr. K. Alexander Hilton is going to go through that song, Nana Steak. I did, you know what? I still didn't get around to it, but we are going to do a few songs today. So, you know what? Hold tight. Kenneth Tottenham Hotspur, big up. Big up to you.
From Norway.
Nicholas Collison, the Barry, not Barry. Hi, Mr.
K. He's changed to insert name here now.
Oh, insert name here now.
Yeah.
Okay. That's you, Eugene. Okay. Yeah. Coach Stelios in the house.
Coach,
good evening.
Ali.
Good afternoon.
We can't sing that anymore. Steady Ali.
No.
He's gone.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to come across Deli Ali in a second. I think I got something for him. Rob Coyne in the house. If I have butchered your surname, please do let me know, Rob. Big up, guys. Not sure how I'm feeling, to be honest. Neither are I. Eugene, are you feeling anything, or are you just? Yeah.
I've been numb for let's say the past 10 years, so I don't feel anything anymore.
We need a striker. I know everyone's saying right wing back, but we got Doherty and Royale. Yeah, good. That's pretty much why we're saying we need it. So anyway, good morning to finish off with Stelios. Right, Alexander Hilton. Good evening. Good evening.
Evening.
Evening. That was evening was
evening. Good evening is Mr. Unai Emery.
Yeah, that's Mr. Unai Emery. Curse, as you were saying.
Big up, Curse.
Big up, Mr. K in chat. And staking. You know what? This is a song. Someone has to come on and sing along. Anyway, so let's just move on. Jamie gets actually put a song out. Da na 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 na. If you're looking for trouble, da na 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 na. You came to the right place. Talk to K. So that's okay. Oh my days, Mr. Edwardson's in the house. Mr. K, rants Levy out. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, giving you a big hi, saying hi, Mr. Eugene. You know, Amza's in the house. Big up, Mr. K and Eugene. Good one. And Rob Coyne, is you know, when you were talking about when you were waking up, he was asking, was there any drugs involved in that croaky voice of yours? We get to our age, like everything needs to be a little bit more healthier. Yeah. Right, Jamie, don't know what gets my heart beat up more, K's title track or watching the team play. I think that turnaround against Leicester, that got me turned up to a 10. You know, I mean, like bang, I was jumping up and down.
To tell the truth, the game against Leicester, I was asleep too.
Right, John Fitzpatrick's in the house. Big up, everyone! Come on, you Spurs. And
okay, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Jamie.
Okay, there you go.
That's a Cantonese greeting. That means everybody has great prosperity.
Oh wow! Thank you, Jamie. Nice one put in there. Same to you, brother, and Eugene. I'm telling you, people are going to start to insert name here. They do listen, you know, Eugene.
Of course they are listening.
Jay Ashraf's in the house. Hi, Mr. K.
Hey,
welcome
Jay
back, Eugene. And Jay Alexander saying, can Harvey White start right back?
Can he?
I'm sure if that question had been asked like the beginning half of the season, Conte would have like tried something with him, put him out there, tried him out for a few minutes, see what he's like. Can he handle something? Seen something in training, and then got prepared for it and said, right in the January window, right, I want this, this, and this. At least I know what I can fall back upon. And it doesn't seem like there was any movement on that right wing at all. So, you know, what are we going to do? It's like we can't exactly pull out like three players that first team and push them out the way for someone like Harvey White. So I don't know.
we got Doherty, right? So all's good.
With Doherty, you know, a promising fallback with lots of experience. Right. You know, between you and me, who do you think's got a better right foot when it comes to crossing, Doherty or
Emerson?
Emerson? Yeah,
of course, Doherty. Emerson can't cross for X.
right. Both of them are really good. Both of them really good at getting skinned on the right wing.
Yeah, that's one thing. True. Yeah.
I think some deeper analysis.
Defensively, Emerson is a bit better. Right?
Yeah,
energy. A bit.
You mean the energy? You mean the energy?
I don't know. He's a bit better defensively, right? He likes to bring people down.
But surely Doherty's got that wealth of experience that he can bring in if a manager pats him on the back and gives him that freedom of thought. I think a little bit towards the end of the Leicester game, you saw that coming in where he got into the box, created an absolute nuisance out of himself, and that creates an opportunity. You know, like Lamella used to do, get in there, create a nuisance.
I think the Leicester game, we see a bit of Doherty from Wolves. You know what I'm saying? That what he used to do at Wolves, right? So hopefully, with what's been gone and what's have come in, so we'll see what Conte turns him into. Right? That's how I see it. Right?
I think at some stage or another, we're going to come across two things today. I think one is that deadline day happened and Dele Alli left, and you can't really exactly run a show without commenting on Dele Alli leaving, because he was, a Spurs squad member, highly loved, lots of great memories. Soured by the last 2-3 years in terms of lack of drive, that sort of attitude that he used to have on the pitch, the type of arrogance and swagger that used to absolutely wind up the opposition, creating like free kicks, creating penalties, and then he'll pull off a little bit of brilliance here and there, tap the ball through someone's legs, get a penalty or score a goal. And some of the goals he scored were absolutely top notch. We've slagged him off for like 2 years, and deservedly so, because at the end of the day, we're allowed to criticize our players that are playing like bollocks. And he was, certainly. I think there was a tenacity when Nuno came along, and on the left wing, the 4-3-3. He showed that he has the work mentality, but he never seemed to have a show that he has the heart mentality, the desire that's made him distinctly Dele Alli. And I think the tweet that he put out after he left, where he thanked this man here, right? So when you thank someone like Pochettino, and that's the only person you thank, that's saying something, isn't it? What do you think, Eugene? I mean, as a close player, he must have felt that maybe Poch was getting let down a little bit somewhere here and there.
Yeah, I think most of the players did feel that, right? That Poch being let down and all that, and going through what they've went through, right? I know the fan base can turn on you, and it will affect you mentally. Don't forget, we're all human too, right? So the only thing I can say is best of luck to Dele Alli, because if he performs well, we get more money.
Amzo's saying over here that Bentancur just scored a great goal against Uruguay.
Well, big up to Benta.
Right. So if that's the case, then I think there's to a certain degree these new two boys have come in. They've got promise. They must have a certain degree of pedigree and quality, basic level at least.
They should. Yeah.
That Conte will be able to utilize in some sort of fashion in his many varied systems that he puts out. Passing with Dele Alli, but let's just move on. We've got two new boys. Maybe we might come back to Dele Alli a little bit later on, depending upon the guest. But Bentancur, you've come across him. Have you seen him at all or not? Or do you have to Google him?
The truth, not very into the CRR nowadays. Only have time to watch the EPL. Right. In the old, if you talk about 5 years ago or 6 years ago, you should watch it through all the leagues, right?
Yeah.
But nowadays, only not too sure how the two new players are coming in, how they play and all that. But the reviews going around, they are the players that Conte wants. So I will trust in Conte if really Conte wants them. And to tell the truth, we will know very quickly whether Conte wants them or not, because I'm waiting for Conte's next press conference. That will tell us,
that's going to be
tell us a lot. Yeah, that's going to tell us a lot, right?
Honestly,
a lot, because I've been saying this for a long time. Pre-transfer window, Conte was upbeat. You can see all the positive energy coming out. During the transfer window, Conte went into a slight depression. Slight, right? I'll say in a way, slight depression. And he was always
you can tell by his hair, right? Was there some sort of like tracker? Is it like Conte's hair tracker and facial stubble?
Yeah. No, because he started to avoid questions, right? And he started to give very vague answers, like, going around.
He started that little laugh as well. He started that little laugh as well, which has now become like every single time he does it. It's like it's such a fake laugh.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to laugh but not laugh at the same time.
Yeah.
Like what's going on with that? It's like that's not. I look back at some videos from Conte from before when he was at Chelsea or whatever, and I couldn't see none of that. I couldn't see none of that. And is that one of them Jose things when he turns around to the press conference and says, "Come on, guys, you know you got eyes."
You can see for yourself, right? Don't ask
you
me
can see for yourself. Look, I played them.
Don't ask me.
I played them. Don't tell me I didn't play them.
Yeah, don't ask me questions I don't want to answer.
But look, Rob Bother has made a little point about that when it comes to stats and so on, right? Yeah, and you look at you have to perform, like you have to look at some form of stats when you're looking at some new player coming in. The best way to know a good player or a new player is basically see them on the pitch, see how they first impression, give them a little bit of time. 2 months, 3 months, see them again, remember the first time, then remember that, and then you'll see, okay, right, this is the type of player we've got now. You need to give them 3 months. You need to see, first of all, at the beginning, whether they're absolutely useless or not, because that can sometimes happen. And then you need to give them 3 months to say, okay, well, they must have got to a little bit Conte system by now. They must have got a little bit of grip on the Premier League and how things have been done through their teammates, because don't forget the teammates, when they're in training, that reflect how the Premier League is played. Okay, so that will definitely filter through them. They'll be there watching the matches alongside the players in the subs section or something like that. They'll be looking with their eyes. They'll be seeing every single detail more so than us. There'll be coaching staff that will be going through things with them on a training pitch. So I think we've got the right setup as far as coaching is concerned for new players to come in. So long as obviously the manager wanted them in the first place, but we'll find out if he didn't. There'll be fireworks, I'm sure. But stats, that's all we can do right now. These boys, they don't have massive stats for scoring, assisting. But did Traore have massive stats for assisting and scoring?
Yeah, but Traore was playing for Wolves, right? So you can't overjudge him on that. Most probably we have to judge Traore. At least we'll judge Traore when he's at Barcelona.
Yeah,
right? And let's see whether he starts scoring there or not.
Right, scoring. So you secretly reckon that there was a personal quality in there, just needs to be untapped.
Yeah,
you could literally.
Yeah, he could turn out to be a monster, right? So no, but the thing for Traore, as I said, right, after that first goal that he scored for the season, right, and the price went up another 5-10 million, right, we weren't going to get him. So I don't know, maybe smoke and mirrors again, like you were saying. Our transfer window passed just like a flash of an eye, right? And we always do our business on the last day, right? But I'm happy one thing, right? I'm happy for one thing is that we've signed players in January. We haven't done that in a long time.
You know what? When you start to look at the dealings that other clubs have had in the January transfer window, you will see that a lot of clubs did do an awful lot of dealing, getting players out, loan, things like that. And I think to a certain degree, that's what we've had to do as well. Puka Pete's in the house is saying, loved Dele. He was a class player. Out of the 7 years, he gave us 4 amazing years. I wish him all the best and hope it works out for him in Everton. Yeah, same here.
Yeah, same here.
I don't think it's actually got to me that he's actually left. I mean, I was outside the training grounds in the morning yesterday, and I saw him drive out. I just missed it when he drove in, and literally he wasn't in the place for very long, and he was driving straight back out. And he waved at us. He wasn't.
He did.
Yeah, he did. He waved. He waved proper at us. There was a lot of respect. The only thing he didn't do was like facially get himself happy. He didn't look happy. So I kind of guessed straight away he's off. He's gone. So we knew that in the morning, around about 9 o'clock, 9:30. We knew he's gone. Right. We feared what would happen to Tanganga. He left even earlier than him. And then soon after, Levy came out for a drive. That was always fun. And
he did.
Yeah. It's he was driving a Bentley. This man, right? But he's not the. I mean, he wasn't the only one that was there. I was there too. This is the protest yesterday. Very rich off the pitch, but very poor on it. Graham, he was there too. There's a couple of other people.
Big up to Graham.
Yeah. And it seemed to me that what people don't realize is that when you're there, it's the people that are driving by that are giving you support, that are encouraging you. And the average age of the person driving by was like in their 60s and upwards. And these people, especially the more elderly they were, the more vehement they were in terms of giving us support. And that's striking, because these are the type of fans that put it in a very long time ago when this club was not. And they're the ones who've seen those 61 finals. They've seen the 63s, and they've seen those years with their own eyes and sat through it. They created those moments. As Spurs fans, and if they are extremely upset and irate with Levy, then what's happening in social media? I really don't understand. It's like people need to start talking to people and saying, well, let me hear your side of it. Like, I may disagree with this, that, and the other, but at the end of the day, what you feel is real. And if you feel some pain, maybe it's not about today. Maybe it's not about this transfer window. Maybe it's not even about last summer or the summer before that. Maybe something inside you tipped over the balance maybe 4 or 5 years ago, or maybe 10 years ago. And everything you've seen since then has only confirmed and, cemented your view on what the situation is. And other people, they haven't come across this yet. They're looking at it from a different angle. They're questioning these type of facts, thinking, hold on, why is everything being coordinated back to Levy? And I think to a certain degree, Levy's now become a meme. It struck lightning the other day. That's all down to Levy, mate. So, I think levity is what you got left. If you've got nothing else, you have to laugh at the situation. But listen, I've got a lot of people that have come into the chat, and Eugene, I don't want to upset any of the people out there in this negativity sort of thing. So,
go through the chats.
You want to give your 2 pence on the protest thing? Why don't you?
Oh, to tell the truth, right? I would love to have been there, right? Because you guys, I'm in Malaysia, right? The only thing I can give support is through spiritually, right? And send all my love and for the protesters and all that. But of course, I always believe that there are both sides of the fan base, right? And for those who are really, really who believe that Levy has to step down or Levy has to go, they have the right and the choice to be heard, right? And for those who are not on that side of the fence, you don't have to turn around and become so nasty about it, right? Yeah. Because we are all still part of the fan base, that we love our club and we want the best for our club. And for those who protesting, that's the best way of trying to achieve things, right? And don't forget, right? So every time we do if any of the protest happens, right, we do get something done, right? So I'm not sure whether that's a coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidence, right? And it all started from the Manchester United match. Without the Manchester United match, if we were silent, right, most probably we've gotten Big Sam.
You don't know. I mean, that situation. And you know what it is? He's always had the chairman's always had a little trick up his sleeve every now and again when it comes down to getting out of trouble, lastminute.com. Yeah. But, that's just my own personal take on the matter. I'm viewed in terms of what I know from yesteryear. Other people don't have that opinion. I think to a certain degree, you're going to get people that are feeling like let down in some fashion. There was like, let's have a little look. I think I can bring this around to here and pop it up there. Right. So over here, I don't know, let's make this a little bit larger. Why don't I? Yeah,
right, that's better.
Pretty much that one, that image over there. And basically what happened throughout the day, viewers out there, this is the protest outside Hotspur Way, the final day of the transfer window. Basically what you got over here is people came for a couple of hours and they left. People came for an hour or two and then they left. And that carried on going throughout the day. Those people that came at the beginning of the day, they were pretty much there till about 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7. During that day, I think there was because there was a lot of activity, you're going to get reporters going in and out. Right. So this was definitely being reported upon. The second thing was that the BBC itself decided to pick up on this and say, hey, hold on a second, something's actually going on here. Let me actually go and speak to these people and say, what's going on, boys? And pretty much the view that we had was what we had last year. We just gave the same thing. And I think a lot of views of maybe there's a lot of fighting going on, a lot of name calling, a lot of bad animosity that's been going on. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna turn it around a little bit today. I'm going to turn around and just tell a little story from what I know from yesteryear. Okay, not too long ago, when there wasn't that many people that were on social media saying "Levy out." There was some diehard Tottenham fans that have been like legacy based, and one of them came out and he did this particular rant live in one of the stadiums, and pretty much it caught the imagination of some of the fans out there. I'm gonna play it for you now.
Can't beat me, you fool cunt! I can see you! You can see me! You can't!
Right, so that is a very short clip, right? And this gentleman, probably been standing there for like week after week, probably shouting obscenities towards Levy. And I think that was impressions that actually recorded that, because it looks like it. I mean, from your point, I mean, would you agree with that? That seemed to be him. Right now, what happened, right? Yeah, is somebody else decided, I know, I'll get that, and I'll turn it. So he pretty much made it into a techno track. That techno track actually traveled through Europe. And then somebody turned around and decided, I know, I'm going to slap a video on top of that because we've got a protest coming up. This is the result.
That was a good one.
Right. And believe it or not, that went around last, I think it was over a year ago. This was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And you know, what's the difference between then and now is the level of animosity that exists between the different fan bases in terms of whether you think Levy's doing a fantastic job or whether you think he's negligent in what he's doing and he should resign just like any other person would be in any other job. We seem to be, split on that for one reason or another. Some people have got this description, some people got that description. And along the way, you're going to get manipulation of the media. The way social media is, it prevents people from having a harmonious chat. And it turns into a slangy match instead, which is a bit sad. Listen, you know what? I'm going to move on swiftly with what the viewers are actually going through. Because I think to a certain degree, the reason why I brought this up is to say, look, you can have a bit of fun and you can hold your opinion. And I think we've got to draw the line somewhere when we have to start talking about other human beings. True. There needs to be, if we want respect, then we're going to have to show respect. And if we do that on a consistent basis, no matter what happens, then it can be obvious to everyone where the real hostility is coming from. Okay? Because some of the wording that I hear is that we're the toxic fans. We're a humiliation. It's humiliating seeing us protesting. Can you imagine in a society like we have in the United Kingdom, it's looked down upon to protest? In fact, the laws even changed about things like that. I think that's kind of sad. But at the same time, I understand what some other people are saying, like, oh, yeah, your cow died and it's little Levy's fault. Well, believe it or not, he bought the land that the cow used to graze in. And, so that's going to be a meme that's going to stay forever with us, Eugene.
Yeah, memes will be here forever.
Right. So let's get straight back into our views over here. We've gone into yesteryear. And, okay, right. So I think Dali Ali was probably the last word we were going through. So Dali Ali, your thoughts on Dali Ali's Marza? Get them out now while we can. I mean, I love the boy, and then decide to.
Yeah, but he disappeared 3 years ago, so I understand the fan base being turning again on him and all that. But like I said, if he's gone now, he's gone to Everton. The best we can do is wish him best of luck, right? He's still young. Yeah. He still wants to get back into the England team. So I wish him that too, because if he does perform well, right, I think there's a lot of clauses in there to push his price up. At the moment, there are a lot of things coming out that if he plays, he makes 20 appearances, we will get £10 million, right? Okay. Yeah, and the deal can go up to 40 million pounds. So I do not know what the other conditions are, right? Maybe he scored 3 goals, then he'll get another 10 million pounds, right? He makes 2 assists, you get another 2 million pounds, £1 million assist, you know. So we don't know what kind of deal that.
It seems like a levy. It seems like a levy deal to me. It seems like a levy deal to me. I mean, he drove out. Brian literally walked away for like 5 minutes, and Levy drove out in his Bentley. And I was thinking, what a coincidence. But maybe the word was he was negotiating with the Delhi deal. You have to go out for that. Reload is in the house. No trophies, just memes. That's right. It certainly seems to be turning into that type of club. Paul's in the house.
Paul.
Punch bag workouts. Big up everyone. Eugene and Mr. K. And Paul Brown's in the house. Eugene, Mr. K, all in the chat. Good evening. Now the thing is that there's this possibility that, as Alexander's saying, that Levy knows Daigle.
Oh, he does, I'm sure now.
It's an impossibility.
He does.
It is literally impossible that this man does not know about Daigle. Trust me.
He does.
We had a few people turning up and standing, like they'd park their car around the corner, right, and they'd cross the road, and then they stand there and they do this very quick motion with the camera, and then after about a few minutes they'd go back into their car and drive away. Like, you know, we were standing there going, hey man, come and talk to us if you want, we'll tell you everything.
Mr. K, Levy now knows Daigle. Levy now knows you. Levy now knows who the rest of the gang is there now. He's got all your pictures. Yeah. So.
Oh, I see. I forgot to get my tinfoil hat for that paranoid moment. You know, I don't know. I'm gonna have to start listening to the crackling on my phone. You know, listen, you know what? That might explain why Stellis's internet has been so terrible.
Yeah.
Viewers. Conspiracy Corner 101. You've come to the right place. You know what? We should have a tinfoil hat moment. Honest to God, I got so many. Yeah. But there is a surprising amount of empty seats which are going on nowadays in the football, in the arena. I saw a bit of that against Chelsea, where I was sitting. There was hardly anyone there. Honest to God, I'm not joking. But it's basically fans like maybe not able to turn up due to COVID, whatever, or alternatively, people are showing that they've had enough. What's the point of turning up to watch crap play? They could, in their minds.
True.
Tottenham Tantrum. Dermot's in the house.
Big up Dermot.
Tottenham Tantrum Gold. Viewers out there, if you've not seen Tottenham Tantrum Gold, they show videos and footage of yesteryear's Spurs matches, and they'd have a little watch along and talk about it while they're watching. Worthwhile checking their channel out if you possibly can. Hi.
I was on their show earlier this morning, right, during the morning show, and their intro, right. Oh my God, it pulled on my heart. Right, in the intro they had the 5 minutes intro of showing all the glory through the yesteryears. I nearly shed a tear, to tell the truth. I missed that so much.
Right, he's saying basically, hey, Mr. Kane, Eugene, hope all is well. There was another gentleman over here, Ora Betsy. I think I butchered your name last time I pronounced it, but I'm going to keep butchering it until someone tells me otherwise. I think is it Ora Betsy? Right. Let's not forget about getting Levy out and getting fooled by 2 bargain savings. Levy out, but back in Conte. I had a recollection of a super chat someone sent last week, where they turned around and said that this was a Chelsea fan, incidentally. They said that if you trust your board, then you don't care about transparency. You just you let them do what they want, how they want to do it. You don't care, right? They're getting you. They understand what the fans want. The fans want glory, and when do they want it? Now.
Always now.
Right, don't worry. We get this new cinema. When do we get the popcorn? Not right now.
Yeah.
But no, we could go on about that. That's too much. But I believe that if Paratici has pulled these 2 players out of the bag, well, come on, pulling them out of the bag. They're from Juventus. He came from Juventus. It's so easy to dig back into what find some players that are not playing in the first team. The club turns around and says, listen, man, we wouldn't mind getting their wages off our books. Things like that. And you pull it out on the last day. Well, you don't pull out deals like this on the last day, Eugene. You have to work on them beforehand. And he's kept them quiet. And that's how deals normally are best done.
No, but I think this is what you call Paratici. You know, this is what you call his head. His head in his side pocket, just in case he can't get the deals out of his top pocket. He has to take the deals out of his side pocket or his back pocket, right? So these are the emergency deals, right? That most probably he's been working on, right? If the Traore deal doesn't get through, and you know whatever deals that he's been trying to get through doesn't get through, right? For whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
So he has to go back to Juventus, right? So I think the Juventus boys coming in should have the quality because they do play for Juventus, right?
Yep.
And let's hope whether they adapt to the Premier League. That's all I'm trying to say.
I was thinking that the first time they come on and then wait to the third month. Over here, Ryan McFarlane's in the house. Ryan, how are you? He says if they were taking pictures, they might cancel your membership when they figure out who you are, laughing hysterically all over the ground. Well, I don't have a season ticket holder, so they can't affect me.
Yeah, you can laugh back, Mr. K. You're not a member and you're not a season ticket holder. Let them cancel whatever they want to cancel.
I've been there. Someone gave me a ticket, but like spending money, like either you believe what you're saying or you don't. It's not that simple. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I digress. But you should not be paranoid. They can't do anything against people protesting and doing that. And we do it peacefully. You know what, Eugene? There are a lot of fans out there that may protest. Our fans are incredibly polite when they're protesting. I'm not even joking. People walking by, we move out the way, we pick up the rubbish, we take it all with us. You know, and there was somebody that was standing on the other side, you know, standing there all day just looking for a job. Some bloke. And his name was Dean. And he wanted to become a player, carer, things like that. So he's standing outside the entrance all day long with a plaque saying, I'm looking for a job. And he looked quite clean and everything. And saying, yeah, please hire me. I'm really good. I won't let you down. I thought that's amazing. I thought that takes guts to do. But we were looking after him as well. Hey, make sure you have a drink. Here's a tissue. It's getting really cold. Things like that. I think our fan base does not know how to do like active protesting. Right?
No, our fan base are not nasty, right? So that's the thing.
Apart from Twitter, and maybe Facebook.
Apart being on Twitter, yeah. That's being keyboard warrior, right? When you ask them to go out and protest, right, and show their face, right, they won't be there, right? Yeah. That's one.
Protesting Levy, protest to keep Levy in. Go on. I'd like to see that protest.
Yeah, I want to see that protest too.
You never know. They might pull out something from the bag and like have a few hundred people there that will turn around and say Levy in, and then I'd like to see that happen next week and the week after. No, I don't think so. But yeah, it's not us versus them. I don't want it to be about.
Yeah, it's never shouldn't be that way.
It's always been one particular person because we don't believe that he's doing the best for our club. Mr. Punchback, Paul is saying, Mr. K is correct. No deal is done in a day. It takes weeks. Also, he saved 500 million pounds. I don't know, per month. It's just in the window. And I think it's over it was over $1 million last window. There's a lot of saving going on with our club when it comes to money. When people start looking at the numbers, there's a lot of saving going on. I'm not. I'd like to really have some numbers to look at that. Tell you the truth, Eugene, before I go into anything like that. But I get the impression this is typical Levy all over again. Paul Brown, what do we want? Some success, interest in the football. Back Conte, Enoch out.
True. True.
We're at that. We're at that stage now where has it set in now that we've got two new boys. Is that better than nothing? It's like, I mean, you got hope in your heart for this change. Like, there's going to be Conte, definitely.
Guys, don't forget, right? From the beginning of the transfer window, I've always been saying this, right? If we don't get any players in, right, Conte be out in February. So that puts a little relief for me because I don't have to change my thumbs for my green screen. I've reached. Don't forget now. Beginning of the season had Nuno on, right? So when Nuno got sacked, I had to look for another picture. So now I've got Conte on there. And if Conte walks, right, whoever comes in, I have to find another picture, do another thumbnail. So at least I can use this until the end of the season and see what happens then, whether Conte is still here. But to tell the truth, like I've always been saying, right, Conte is a kind of manager which is totally at a different level, at a different class, right? His demands will be different. So I guess maybe Conte on the 30th of January did go into Levy's office and headbutted him one time and said that, wake the fuck up, right? Please wake the fuck up and get me some players. If not, I'll be gone, right? So then that's what Paratici did on the 31st of January. Oh, sorry, on the 30th of January in the morning, he calls up Juventus. I need 2 players quickly. Conte is going crazy, right? he's throwing a hissy fit now. So get me my players, right? And we got 2 players from Juventus. Right?
And Juventus obviously knows about Conte's Krakatoa moments.
Yeah. So,
Eugene, are we having guests later on today? Are we going to chuck people on? We certainly are. It's 40 minutes. We've got another 20 minutes right now.
Yeah, we won't have too many guests on. Maybe 2 or 3 people on at one time, right? And try to get it, a bit under control. Okay.
Yeah, I think too many people kind of does my head a little bit. Tell you the truth. Many apologies to the viewers out there who've seen me go off my head. Kirst over here. She's saying that Rodrigo's goal tonight was great. I'm excited to see how he will benefit us. I think that's something which I may have to take a little break from this and have a quick little look when I get a chance. But I'll wait for the guest to come on. I'll do it then.
To tell the truth, right, having Benta on from Uruguay, right, should give us a bit of steel again. You know what I'm saying? Having a Uruguayan player who knows the dark arts, and know what to do when the time is right to do it, that maybe will give us a bit of nastiness that we've been missing on the pitch for a long time. So
I mean, he speaks Conte's language. Kill.
Yeah, kill. All right, headbutt.
Reload has made a valid point over here. Deals can be done in hours. They certainly can be. I mean, I wouldn't do them in hours though, because I would say that there has to be some basic due diligence. But having said that, Paratici knows these players inside out. There's absolutely no doubt about it. He doesn't have to do any thinking. All he's got to do is right. Reload is right. He's got to do is pick up the phone, right? Yeah. Make 3 phone calls. Phone up 2 agents. Say, well, what's the feeling on your player? Right? Yay or nay? Either yeah. Then he phones up the chairman, or maybe the other way, chairman first. But either way, the third phone call has to be to the chairman. Say, listen, man, you got 2 players. You're not using them too much. I know them really well. You can offload them to Tottenham. They're no good for where they are right now, but they'll be fantastic for this team over here. Conte's system requires tenacious workers that are like batteries that will carry on playing throughout the whole 90 minutes. And at least these 2 players can do that. They may not be Messi or Maradona, but come on. At the end of the day, we just want players that are going to be able to run around, not get injured after 2 seconds, like maybe Lo Celso. Talking about players getting injured, Lo Celso gone. Dombele gone. Deli gone. Who else? Gil gone.
Gil.
Yeah, Tang. Yeah. Tangangster, no, I think he's still there, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible to get rid of so many players, like especially homegrown ones as well.
Yeah. I think what Conte did this time is that he tried to get rid of the bad apples in the basket. So and he needs his defenders. That's one thing. It was very surprising. We didn't let any of our defenders go. Even Rodon was still around. Rodon is still here. Davis is still here. Dyer is still here. Sanchez still here. Romero still here. Tanganga is still here. So I guess he really needs a lot of defenders, and maybe he'll be doing a lot of rotations between them. But don't forget, it depends on what we are focusing on, to tell the truth, right?
Yeah.
If we're gonna go for the cup and top 4, then maybe he'll need the depth in the defense, right? And to tell you the truth, right, maybe he does see a certain extent that players will get injured, right? So players will get injured, guys, right? This is the game of football, right? We're not playing. What do you play when you don't get injured? Most probably with yourself.
I think the second half of what Reload was saying over here was that it's called the January transfer window. It's not like Kane tore his ACL last minute or something, and it's a panic situation. I think it is to a certain degree a little bit of a panic situation. We seem to have crept and fallen over our faces to get into a top 4 position possibility. So that's panic. For a normal Spurs fan, that's absolute panic, because now all of a sudden we're looking at a situation where, hey, you know what? There's a temptation in our desire, something fluttering in our heart. Ooh, I mean, like now all of a sudden we want to feel like men. We want to take the game to the.
But the top 4 is there for us to be taken, right? With the games in hand and all that, right? If we do play out our games properly, if we do win at least 80% of the games that we have in hand, we have a very, very good chance of being top 4. So No, our fan base have been starved of the top 4 scenario ever since 2019, if I'm not mistaken, right? That was the last time, and that was the pinnacle of the modern day era for Spurs, right? For a lot of Spurs fans who have just become Spurs fans, that's how far they've gone until the Champions League final, right? And they've not felt glory in the past 14 years. Like since 2008, at least I've seen Keane and King lift up the League Cup, right? And we've not lifted up any cup since then. So the FA Cup would be nice.
I think Berbatov was in that year as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, it was with Keane.
Yeah, with Keane. Yeah, unless he moved on to MU, if I'm not mistaken. So
no, he moved on to MU much later. He moved on to MU just before Redknapp came in. Ramos is last month.
Oh yeah, and I forgot it's Ramos. Ramos was our 6-month wonder manager that won us the League Cup and was sacked very soon after that.
Right. A bit of splash of reality. Paul over here from Punchbag Workouts. He says, look, he goes, I took a look outside of Spurs at AFTV and United Stand, and they were fuming at their own window, saying that we had the best window. Maybe it's the grass is greener. It's not that the grass is greener, it's just that on our side it's extremely radioactive with Levy. Any new little green shoots that come up, we fear for them, but we look at them tenderly, and then before they get poisoned by Levy. But you know what? The grass greener. Conte is here. If he can start to get a little bit of a tune out of Bergwijn, he can get Mora to keep contributing towards actually scoring goals, as opposed to doing Lamella's. Yeah. Because that's the only thing that Lamella missed, was just putting the ball in the bloody back of the net.
No, Mr. K, I've been saying all this while. I don't understand why we are, apart from Sonny and Kane, no one else contributed. Right?
They have to.
No, the thing is that that's why we love Dele Alli. When he came in, the 4 years he gave us, right, he was giving us average about 10 goals per season, right? Average, And when Dele Alli fell asleep, right, or disappeared, right, nobody came in to cover that. Eriksson was gone. Eriksson used to give us a good bag full of goals too, and we never brought in goal-scoring players. I don't understand that. You have a scouting system out there, right, to actually look at things to say that, okay, this is a goal-scoring player, that is a goal-scoring player. Even defenders can be goal-scoring players. You get what I'm saying? And we don't go for that. So let's hope we can change that kind of mentality now in our squad. That's all, right? And not put all the burden on Son and Kane. It can get a bit tiring.
Well, I think if you have only one recognized striker,
yeah, true,
right? If you only have one recognized striker, then it tells me that you set up a system whereby it's the people around him that are going to contribute towards the goals. Okay, it's his job to act as a link, also as a diversion or deflection, right? Pulling people out of position, so on, creating those opportunities. I think that type of system demands all these attacking midfield players to score goals, to contribute regularly. Almost a bit like Chelsea without Lukaku. Yeah,
that's true.
And I think to a certain degree, if you look at, for example, Barcelona, for example, people are contributing goals in from everywhere. And I think that's what we need. Well, not just everywhere, but at least they were contributing it from the regular midfield players that were there, whether Iniesta or Messi and so on. So we've got a system right now where, whether we like it or we don't like it, one striker, that's all good enough. We don't fancy having a second one. But we'll see in the summer. But for the time being, I've seen Conte. I've seen Conte's system in terms of his drilling and the formation movement of our squad, and it's a delight. I'm not even joking. It's an absolute delight to see. People do not realize when they're watching it on telly what's really going on. And I think to myself that if this team matures with that way of thinking of what Conte has asked them to do, and Conte starts to sprinkle this team with bits of magic dust here and there, I actually see something exciting happening for the future if Conte hangs around. I mean, Eugene, you've been watching football a long time. Can you start to see a little bit of Conte effect on the actual playing of the game?
No, our game has changed a lot, of course. When Conte came in, right, the mentality and the way that we've been playing, all that. Come on, I've been slagging Ben Davies for the past 2 years, right? And somehow or another, Conte has got him working as the left of the back three, right? And he's been doing okay, right? Nothing fantastic. That means most probably that's the highest level Conte can get out of him. Sooner or later, we will have to let go of players like Ben Davies, even Dyer, might not even fit into Conte's plans, but he has no choice at the moment. He has to use them. So what he can only do is try to get the best out of them. And we've seen Conte take the best out of them, right? Bring the best out of them. And for us to move to the next level, I don't think they will be in Conte's plans, right? They will be slowly moved out. But the only thing is that don't forget, Conte is on an 18-month contract, right? So let's hope, right? If we do get into the Champions League next season, right, Levy will have half a brain, right, to give him an extra 3 years, right, and support him. That's how I see it. And if Levy doesn't give him another extend his contract for another 3 years and backs him, right, yeah, we are coming for you.
Paul's made a point over here. Rather, he's made an observation based upon some research that he's been doing on Conte. He goes, "Hi, panel. I've been reading about the Conte system, and apparently it's a system that creates the play and attacks, not the individual players. Hence why he doesn't need a team like City to win." Now, if I think that's starting to creep into my mind as well, because I've been doing my own little digging into the formations, the changes, and the reasons as to why Conte did what he did at any given team. There's a false notion that Conte is a particular type of formation player. And when you do the research, you actually find out, oh no, he actually started in a 4-2-4. That was his preferred shape. All out attack. Simple as that. I've tried that a few times in Football Manager, and trust me, that was something way back in the day. Today, in modern days, we call that a 4-2-2-2, where where one of the twos is out wide.
Oh, I call it the pagoda.
But the thing is that when he went to another team, he tried out something. It didn't work. He modified it, and bang, then said that's what's going to work for this team. Until I get different players to change it to maybe some other system, and then he started to develop on that. So he went to like a 3-5-2 when he went to Inter, something like that. Basically, he changed it. And I think if you want to be a world-class manager, it's not that you have a system and you say everyone's got to fit into it. I think a bit like Sarri ball. I think Conte is very different. One of the things he's been quite keen to show in his press conferences is that he wants to be recognized, his achievements recognized, that he develops players. It's not all about buying. Obviously, he needs to have good players to develop in the first place, but I'm talking about he will get a good player and then make them better.
Yeah. No, I think Conte is not about buying expensive players. It's about buying the players that he wants, the players that he sees that have the mentality and the style of football, and to understand the instructions that he's giving out. So you remember when what you were saying, some of the shows were saying that Conte only had to tell Kane once to do what he wants him to do, and he remembers what's to do, right? He doesn't repeat and repeat and repeat. So he liked players like that. So that means instructions, teamwork, and play the system I teach you to play, and put the ball where I tell you to put the ball, and where you are supposed to receive the ball, and you will get results. So if all those messages can get through to the players that we have at the moment, we might see a lot of improvements, right? But of course, the players that we've got out, don't forget, right? We've already loaned out 3 of them and sold 1, okay? One is Hill. Hill, I think, most probably won't be in Conte plans at the moment, because maybe he needs to play more games to build up his strength and all that, to play a way Conte needs him to play, right? And the other 2 that we got out, right, on loan, right? Maybe they are the bad apples in the basket, right? So let's see what happens from now. Like I said, the next game is coming up very soon, right? It's this Saturday. We're playing Brighton. Let's see how that goes.
That definitely. It's nice to get back onto that horse again, the weekly horse of there's a match coming. Getting this transfer saga out of the way, good or bad, however you feel, your bag is half full, half empty, or no bag at all. So it's totally you're entitled to that opinion. You're perfectly fine to have it, and you know what? Chuck it into the chat how you feel. There's no shame in having it. If you feel that no one else has the same feeling as you, chuck it in there. Share. We're not judging people. We may disagree with it, but that's only today. Maybe tomorrow you may have a stronger argument, and I say, you know what, that makes sense. I agree with what you're saying. If it fits in the philosophy of how I am as a person. But anyway, Jason Groves is in the house. Big up. Kim B's in the house. Absolutely fantastic.
Kim B.
Right.
And let me tell Kim this. Kim, Bobby sent me a Chinese New Year message, right, on my DM, right? Big up to him. Yeah.
Right. So there is talk. You know what? I've actually, there's you. Shamu's in the house.
Yay, Shamu.
006, waiting to get promoted to 7. Mr. K and Eugene. Whoa. But yeah, it's Kim over here thinks the window was a 4 out of 10. I gave it a 7, Eugene. What would you give it?
I'll give it a 5. I'm just happy we got players in.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, it's surprising that I'm a Levy out person and I give it a 7, because on the way I look at it is that I give it a 5 for getting rid of some players. That's 5 points alone, and the fact that you got the 2 players coming in, hook or crook, I don't care. Get a point each. So there you go, 7 points. I'm not fussy about that. I think to a certain degree, people like Jamie Git and people like yourself and Kim, you're going to feel that 5 and below is the real place, like maybe a 3 or 5. Sorry, 3 or 4, something like that. And obviously, John Fitzpatrick over here, he's obviously he agrees with me that when you look at the factor of people going out, he's given it at least a 5. And I think to a certain degree, I'm like that as a person. So if you ask me, like, what do you reckon we're going to do against Brighton? I'd say, yeah, we're going to smash them 4-1.
Yeah.
You know, and you know what? I genuinely believe that as well. I'm not just saying it. I genuinely believe that.
At home,
we have the
possibilities there. Yeah.
The capacity is always like our team has the potential. Now we have the players to do it. You know what I mean? Like Kirst say that I gave it a 6. Have you gone down, Kirst? Or is that Kirst is definitely doing a 6. Amir, I can't pronounce his surname, but Amir, welcome to the stream. He's giving it a 6. Viewers, you know what? I might as well chuck it out there. Chuck into the chat what you feel that this transfer window is in your opinion. Just chuck it in there. Let's have a little tale of it. And for the time being, Kim has rightly pointed out that it's the year of the tiger.
Year of the tiger. Yeah.
And apparently, Kim is a tiger.
Born in the year of the tiger, right?
Yeah. So sorry, that was my tiger impression. Terrible, I know. Look, Alexander agrees with me. I can't believe it. He's giving it a 7. Alexander, whatever you're drinking, mate, I need some more of that. I swear. There's a reason why I said 7. What on earth did you give 7 for? Right. Kenneth in the house. He's saying he gave it 1 to 1.5. 1.5. No, 1 to 1 to 1.5. I think Kenneth is really finding he's becoming a little bit more generous nowadays. That half
point. Yeah.
I think to a certain degree. Emza's giving it
3.75.
Oh my
God, he's still here.
Yeah, you know what? He would have given it a 4, but he decided to flick it down by that. I think that's what's happened over here. Dave, 7. You know what, Dave? Dave is an optimistic person, or you know, I want some of that Kool-Aid. I've given it a 7 due to outgoings. You know what? Same here. I'll give it a 7 because I prefer getting in what we need, but I'm assuming.
Do you know why? Do you know why I gave it a 5? Right? I gave it a 5 because those outgoings should have been done in the summer, not now. Right?
Well, it's done. Listen, Eugene, if you're born in 1999, what type of animal are you? I was just going to say badger because the changing but
let me check. Let me check on Google.
You check that out if you possibly can. You know what? Kenneth is in a super chat sticker.
Oh, you better read that out.
I'm gonna put it up. I want to see what it is because I don't know what it is. Okay, viewers out there, I'm showing it on StreamYard, but it's coming up just as a super sticker. But in the chat,
it's a rabbit,
right? In the chat, it's just a rabbit. But in the chat, Kenneth is putting a Norwegian super sticker, and it's a sandy beach with a lovely little umbrella to give you some shade. So that's what that super sticker is. But thank you very much, Alexander. Sorry, Kenneth. I would like to, you know what? It's that 1 hour is gone on the clock. I was thinking that we're going to have to start tucking some links out there to some of our people. Any of the viewers out there that have not been here before. Puka Pete, for example, has turned around and said, you know what? I'll give it a 3 out of 10. and I think, you know what, he's actually being generous at that particular moment, because I could feel the vibe. Is there a mod in the house to get rid of that particular statement that came up a little while ago? I'll do it. I think it's one of those bots, isn't it?
Yeah, the bots are coming in.
Yeah. Do you just delete it, or do you just remove the user completely?
Just block the bot.
Block.
If you,
I don't know. There's an option for block?
If you're on StreamYard, right? Block the bot.
Okay.
Go to the StreamYard.
All I've done is hide the user, but in StreamYard, let's have a little look.
Right, StreamYard, you can block him.
Oh, you go block user. There you go. Done.
Block user.
Done already, mate. Done.
All
right. I'm new to that. Will Stewart saying he's a monkey. There's another one here.
I'm a monkey too, Will.
No,
I'm 12 years older than you.
I'm blocking that one too. I need a few more mods in here. You know that. Right.
Where all the mods? Get Will block the bots, Will.
Yeah, he's right. Listen, viewers out there. Before I
have to do it. Hold on.
No, either way. Viewers out there.
Done it. Okay. All right. Will right. Shamu's done it. Good, Shamu. Good.
Nice one. Cheers. Thank you very much, mods out there. Right now, I'm going to leave that monkey statement over there, unless it gets in my way, which I think it has to a certain degree. Let's remove that. Right, viewers out there, these are Patreon members: Mama Coates, Wayne Bonner, Tony Coe, Gaguma, Alex Burton, Bobspur TV, get well soon, mate, and piss off. John N. Patreon is a separate platform for supporting content creators. It gives far more of the money that you contribute towards the actual channel itself than YouTube does. And YouTube members over here, we have 4-star generals, Aglia Kakaratas, and we have captains, Wayne Bonner and Mark Swift. We've got the Williams Rangers, Jesus, Danny Kriako, Tony Coe, Dave Jones, Tottenham Tantrum. That's also Tottenham Tantrum Gold, incidentally. John Langford, Matthew THF Collins, Caps the 30, David, Eunice, Scott M, and the William Celts, Matt Hayes, The Truth Sets Free, Amzo, Dazza, and Aaron Dove. Viewers out there, if I've accidentally missed somebody out, please do let me know in the chat, and I'll get Will to add your name back in there. And Will is saying, you know what, I fixed it all. So thank you very much, Will, for that. That's the previous one, okay? What I'm going to do now, John Fitzpatrick, I'm going to send the invite. No, not that one. Invite link, copy that. And viewers out there, please come in. Not too many. I seem to have a hard time handling many people, but we'll just see. There you go. Bang. Right, so that's out there. They should soon be coming in. I know that there's a couple of people like Kenneth and Nicholson wants to come in. I think there may have been a few others like Dermot, for example, Tottenham Goal. But viewers out there, if you've never been on before, come on. We'll be gentle, and please be gentle with us as well. You don't have to show your face. You just have an icon like that, for example, and you just need to make sure that your microphone works, and that's about it, really.
Yes.
You can probably use your mobile phone. There's many different ways to come on right now, and I like to welcome the viewing audience to a gentleman that's quite frequent on our overall channel, the Will Stewart's THFCRants channel, and his name is Kenneth. Kenneth, how are you, sir?
Yeah, how are you doing, sir?
Not too bad. Okay, Kenneth. I'm gonna stick a few more people on, if you don't mind. Would that be okay? Or would you like to say 2 pence before you? Or would you like to give you 2 pence before you start? Give you the platform.
The more the merrier.
Kenneth, what was the score you gave it? 1.5, 1 3/4, or something for the overall transfer winner?
Okay.
You didn't care. Okay, right. Okay, I want to bring on over here. Insert name here from Southside Stairs. Barry, sometimes known as Sean, sometimes known as Nicholson. How are you?
Very well, Mr. Sir. How are you?
I'm a loss for words as to what to call you today, sir.
Well, like I said last night on Tottenham on Tour, you call me whatever you want to call me, as long as it's polite, yeah?
Okay. Call you Barry for the time being. I'd also like to introduce, if possible, Jason Groves. Groves, how are you, sir?
Oh, excuse me. I'm fantastic, mate. Yourself?
Not too bad. A score out of 10 for the transfer window? Peacefully given?
5.5. Given
the
fair. Outs. And I don't know. I don't think the two players we got in are that bad. I mean, I've seen a few streams where everyone's going, we should have bought Prem-proven players, but we bought fucking Doherty who was Prem-proven, and look how that turned out. Like, there's no guarantees no matter what you do.
Yeah, exactly. I 100% agree.
Hey, Alexander,
Wait,
crap.
is that K Alexander? Kevin.
No.
Sorry,
this
which
is Alexander Hilton.
Yeah.
excellent, Alexander. You welcome to the show. Thank you for coming. And question to you is this transfer window out of 10. You liked it? Didn't like it? Oh, he's gone for a while. That scared him off.
Well, that
He didn't
triggered
like
him.
it. That's what he didn't like. That's it. I'm out.
That's it. I'm not answering that question. No, he's probably got an internet issue.
Nah, he
But,
peaced out.
But Kenneth, did you find anything interesting in that transfer window? 31 days, or did you think, yeah?
All the players that went out, and no, the transfer window was completely disaster in my opinion. But I hope the Swedish guy can do something. But Dele Alli, I would have kept him till summer, at least. For me, it was completely disaster transfer window. It's no.
That's why the 1.5 or I don't care.
But Lo Celso also out. Why? And like we have so many games left, and we need and 2 players in. But
yeah,
the person I would love to hear everything about is Conte, Antonio Conte. What he has to say about
same as us.
I want to hear from Conte what he feel about this because he is the boss, and I think we are so lucky to have that manager in Tottenham. And if Levy and those can't back him up, well then I have nothing more to say to those.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to wait for. I mean, Kenneth, we're going to have to wait for Conte to speak. There is going to be a press conference at some stage, or not today. I did notice that every time you speak, that there's some sort of like overblowing thing that comes into the microphone. Can I just put you on mute, and then when you need to speak, just unmute yourself? Yeah, would that be okay? Okay, yeah, I was going to put you there. Done. Right. Sorry about that. No, it's just what it is, especially for someone who's wearing headphones. It's absolutely blaring my ears sometimes. Many apologies. Sean, Paul. Darren, Nicholson. Oh, you from Southside Sirs. Do you know this song at all? This steak song?
No,
you don't. Right, so I'm going to leave that. All my days, the bun's in the house. Danny
Kiriakou.
I'm not singing that song until I know that he's moved his trainer.
Right. So Kenneth,
can you confirm if you've moved your trainer and tidied up your bedroom, because it's still bugging me from yesterday.
Kenneth, I've taken you out of mute there. I'm hoping that might help the situation, but I can still hear the clock there. Do you know about this steak song at all? No, he's not there. Okay, he will come back. Okay, he's probably gone to the bathroom or something like that. Not to worry. I understand Will Stewart's in the house as well. He's basically saying that this window was better than the last. At least we didn't sign losers for the future. Jason, are you kind of happy that we got something? You gave it a 5.
Yeah, I gave it a 5.5. My thing is this, right? We got rid of a few players, but 3 in general and Gill. I would rather Gill would have gone to a British club. Like, personally, because I don't see why sending him to Spain's doing anyone any good, but either or. As for the other 3, I don't know why anyone's sweating that. It's not like he was playing them anyway. Like, literally. So, I just... I don't know. Like, obviously, we don't know how these 2 players are going to, like, go or how they're going to be, but they can't be worse. They literally can't be any worse.
Are you, Jason, are you worried in any way, or the players that we've let go?
No. Not at all.
No, not at all. So
listen,
yeah.
Conte clearly turned round, handed in his list of what he wanted to happen, and obviously, on that list of things he wanted to happen was those players to not be at the club anymore. And kudos to the club. They got rid of them. The rebuild has started. You know what I mean?
Again.
Yeah, but it's Conte's rebuild now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
We're working
don't you
towards
agree
getting Conte's team. Well, he wasn't
you-
going to play them.
Kenneth
you
is
should
back.
have a striker and a playmaker in the midfield at least.
Well, I don't know that Conte plays with playmakers per se, but even if he did, here's my train of thought on this. And by the way, it may sound like I'm really pro-Levy now. I'm not. But my train of thought is this. Would you rather, if they couldn't get the players they wanted to get, they panic bought and bought some dross striker and some this, that and the other, that's going to be a pain in the arse to get rid of come summer when they can stand a chance of getting the player they want to get, or they wait and try and get the player they want to get, if that's what they do. Personally, I'd rather they took the second option and didn't panic buy. Now, I'm not saying they're going to spend money in the summer, but like that's the train of thought I've got with it.
Yeah, I think Kenneth has popped out. His internet maybe on the blink. Kenneth, do please pop back. You know what? To answer that question, Danny, Danny, it's pleasure, mate. Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Be gentle with me, Danny.
Would you like to take on that question, that Jason? Jason, would you like to repeat that question for Danny?
Well, I was answering Kenneth's question.
Yep. Oh, okay.
What was the
He
question?
did pose the question. He did pose something at the end of it.
By the way, how is everyone doing?
Not too bad.
no,
not
I'm
too bad.
good.
Not too
What
bad.
I was basically
good.
saying is we got 2 players in. Yeah, we needed like a wing back, a forward, creative midfield. I just don't know that that's what Conte wants out of his team at the moment.
No.
But either way, would you rather we panic bought and bought like 3 dross players for those positions that are going to be a pain in the arse to get rid of, or we wait and get the players that he actually wants in the summer, if that's what we're going to do?
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah, but actually this time we needed. Not like when we bought Salah in the January window. This is completely different.
Danny,
So-
Danny, your voice has changed into a Glaswegian.
I know.
Sorry, Kenneth. Okay. Listen.
Yeah,
No. I think that's pretty much. Look, I've given the whole transfer window a 7 out of 10, and I'm seeing positives in it, even though I don't trust Levy as far as I can push him. But my point is this: is that you got Kenneth over here who's giving it a 1.5, even less. Thinks a disaster. First of all, Danny, before you continue, what would you give this transfer window? If you don't mind me asking.
I said I've been kind of like thinking about it. I'd probably say at best it's a 5. I was in between 4 and 5. I'd say probably at best it's 5. That's kind of the average I've given it. Some days I've changed my mind and I've given it a 3. Other days I've thought about it.
He's on me. He's on my
5.
side. Thank you.
But I'll tell you why though. It's because like Jason said, right? The biggest thing about this window was getting those players out. Yeah, I've said it as well that losing those players, they had, I think it was, what was it, 7 starts I think between them since Conte arrived. All those 4 players. So that's hardly anything. But the issue is that all of those players have pretty much come off the bench, right, in games. Pretty much they have made appearances. So
mate,
Kenneth,
buddy,
let me speak, mate. Hold on, Kenneth, let me speak 1 second, mate. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? We have left the squad in a light state. Now I do agree with Jason that I would rather wait than bring in absolute dross just to bring in numbers, because we all know what happens when we bring in numbers. It ends up never anything happening basically, and they never end up playing anyway. So you waste money on wages, you waste.
Exactly.
It's just
wages.
It's shit decision.
There you got it. The wages.
Yeah, it's shit decision to bring in shit players. But look, hopefully these players have been approved by Conte, because he wouldn't have said yes to them if he didn't approve of them, and that's because they seem to be players who will work hard for him and play in the way that he wants him to play. And listen, Kulusevski in his interview, the way he spoke, I really liked the way he spoke. Now, I've seen a bit of him. I'm I've watched a bit of him. I've seen a bit of him in the Serie A, like watching the games, and I'm not the most impressed. I'm not like, oh my god, this guy's going to be an absolute baller for us or anything like that. I think he works hard. I think he presses a lot, which is kind of the things that you Conte probably asks as a bare minimum from someone. And he seems to be quite a selfless player. So he's not like one of these selfish players. He's very much for the team kind of thing. And I think that's what Conte wants. He wants players who want to play for the team and not for. And that's why he wanted like players like Ndombele out, because Ndombele plays for himself. He don't care about the fucking team. Same as Gio Lo Celso. Lo Celso only cares about Argentina. He don't care about anything else.
I think.
And do you know what as well, Mr. K? And like I think with what we've done, it's good. It's definitely going to help the mentality of the squad. That's for sure, because it's a more tight knit group who are all pushing in the right direction, right? All for playing for Conte and sort of what's the word, like I'm trying to think of the word now. Fuck.
They'll break through brick walls for him.
Well, yeah,
jumping
exactly.
into fires.
Basically that. Yeah, basically that. Yeah, basically they'll do anything for him. Yeah. So, and I think that's what you want. And look, if all I'm saying is that it's going to be very sticky situation if we do get injuries, and what it looks like is
bingo.
Some of those youngsters are going to get game time, so you're going to probably see Harvey White play a bit more, which it might be good for them. Like I know it's a lot of pressure on them, and they might not be good enough, but look, at least it give them a bit of experience, and at least they'll probably give 100% for the badge, and they'll try, which is all you can ask for from youngsters. So it's not their fault if they don't perform to the levels.
No, but if we're gonna fight for the fourth place this season,
I think fourth place can only happen on these conditions, and it has to have everything has to be perfect in order for it to happen. So we need to have every single player injury free for the rest of the season. Every single player has to be like on form, like on fire, right? And I mean,
this guy looks like he's on fire right now.
Well, the thing is, if all of these players stay fit and they're all on form and they all want to fight for the badge and for every last second of the game, then there's a big possibility. And the reason I say that is because all the teams around us who are challenging for top four have all weakened. Man United have got weakened. They haven't got Mason Greenwood in the squad. Hopefully he goes to prison. He's a scumbag. Also, I mean, Martial's gone as well, so they've lost a lot of numbers now. If they have injuries, it's going to be quite difficult for them to deal with. Now they can probably deal with the injuries more than anyone else because they've got such a big squad, but they're not playing great because their manager's not the greatest manager. He's not a manager. Let's be honest. And Arsenal have lost even more players this window, and they're even lighter than us. So that's going to be brilliant for us. So I think the biggest competition we've got really right now is Man United, and if we win our games in hand, we go above them. So it's a big chance. So I'm going to try and stay positive now for the rest of the season, and hopefully. But I have said
on the panel. Sorry to interrupt. You can ask you on the panel. Would you like if Lindegaard came to Tottenham?
Who?
Lingard.
No.
Oh, Lingard. I mean, I would have liked him on loan. I would have liked him on loan for 6 months. I think he would have been a good option. I don't think I don't. If he's a free transfer, because I know there's talk that they're going to try and maybe get him in the summer for a free transfer. If it is a free transfer, look, I would take him if it's not high wages, because it is another option to have, and someone like him to bring on. He's probably going to give us more than what Dele Alli was giving us, unfortunately, because we all know if we all saw the Dele Alli of the last 3 years ago, he wouldn't have been sold. But unfortunately, he's not that same player. Lingard, he's a bit older, and he might be able to offer something more in the Conte system. Who knows? But if they do go for him, it's an English player. It helps with the English quota, and it's also a player that I think can offer us something different that we don't have. But I wouldn't want him as like a key player we sign. Basically, he'd be like a squad player sort of thing.
Yeah, it's also a player that's linked to us. My best friend, he's a Bayern München fan, like big time. He lives down in Thailand, and Sule, he's on free this summer. I know we are after him, and if we can get, he say if you can get Sula, fucking hell, you will get one hell of a player.
Yeah,
For
he's
me-
good, but I've heard he's going to go to someone else. It all
For
depends.
me-
It all depends. Go on, Jay. Sorry, I'll interrupt you, mate.
For me, for us to get fourth, right, the football ain't going to be pretty. We're going to have to dogfight our way through that.
Every game.
And that's
Every game.
why the 3 players we got rid of aren't no big loss to me, because they're not in for no dogfight.
No, exactly. But buddy, we need a better defense. I can't wait till Christian come back after his injury, but probably now go and play for Argentina and get injured again. Hopefully not, though. And he is a fantastic defender. And we lost 4 games against Chelsea. We didn't score 1 goal against them. And there you see the difference in the quality, how Chelsea are compared to us.
But we're not. I mean, in all fairness, you are 100% correct. There is a gap between us, Chelsea, and the other 2.
Yeah.
But we're not fighting them for 4th spot.
No.
Like,
No.
they're not the team at this point. That's not the team we should be judging ourselves against.
No. I'm just pissed off because we can't defend anymore. We have the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, in my opinion, and he deserves more better defense.
But listen, I think Sean over here, sorry, Barry, not Barry, Nicholson. Insert your name here, man from Southside.
Hasn't spoke.
Barry, you've been trying to stick your finger
I
up
can't
to
get word in edgeways, but Danny, have you got your camera off because you haven't moved your trainer yet?
No, the trainer's moved. I did it for you, Barry.
Okay,
But,
thank you, mate.
I can't
Thank
be fucked
you.
to go on camera tonight.
That's all right, man. Go watch.
No, so guys, yeah, I think like with what Danny's saying about being positive, right? We've lost 1 game out of 10. Son's coming back, Romero's coming back. We've got the 2 new signings. We're playing Liverpool, United, and City away. The rest of the games we should win. I think we're looking at this too negatively, really. I genuinely feel that top 4 is definitely up for grabs. And yes, Danny, I agree with you in the fact that they need to stay fit, but we haven't had everyone fit, and we've still won 6 out of 10 and drawn the other 3, right? So
Yeah, but those games we draw, we should have won. Really,
Absolutely.
Apart from Southampton, who actually outplayed us, to be honest, and if it wasn't for that red card, they probably would have won that game. And that's the scary thing. That's what I mean by the squad is not strong enough. But look, go on. I'll let you continue.
Yeah, no, I just think that now, look, we all know that it was a 6 or a 5 or a 4 or a 7 out of 10. I mean, I think, look, we got rid of the 3 players that, and we know what was going on with Ndombele. Lo Celso as well was apparently because he wasn't vaccinated. That was the reason there was that negativity within the squad. And also in terms of Delhi, the one thing that I'm probably pissed off about, and I don't know whether you guys will be as well, is that because he went on a free and the money is on performance related, MK Dons don't get a sell-on fee. So I think that's an absolute disgrace, and that just shows what Levy's like. Because
I don't think we did that to fuck them over, though. I think that's the only way we could structure the deal that Everton could do it, because Everton are getting real close to that FP fair play thing, the money thing. So that's the only way the deal could be structured that Delhi could go.
Well, it's not just that as well, Jason. It's also the fact that no one's going to go and pay £30 million for Dele Alli, or even £20 million now.
He just hasn't performed.
No, he's been even. I was watching a really good podcast on one of Everton fan TV shows today, and they were saying, look, he hasn't been great the last couple of years, and it's a deal that works out well for everyone, because if he does start performing. And also it's 20 games before we get £10 million, so we won't even get that till next season anyway, right? So next season, and then after that, if he is performing, then obviously the more he performs, the more money we get, and it works out as a pretty decent deal. So it's up to him. If he doesn't perform, at least we still make a bit of money on him. I know it's not a lot, but how many people wanted him gone for free? So essentially, we have got rid of him for free. But I'm sure that he is going to play 20 games, because it seems, from what I've heard, from what the people have been saying, is that he is going to be Lampard's key. Like, apparently Lampard wants to build the team around him. And because he sees himself in Dele Alli, and he knows what Dele Alli is good at in terms of the late runs into the box, second striker kind of role. And I think he's going to build the team around him. And I hope it does as well.
Really do. I really hope he lights it on fire out there.
I hope he does as well. I think every Spurs
Unless he's
fan,
playing us.
Because exactly. I mean, let's be honest, right? Every single Spurs fan here loves Dele Alli, right? The problem is that we got on his back so much. It's because we know how good this guy can be. He was at the time for 2 years one of the best, if not the best, young midfielder in the world. Right? There wasn't anyone better than him. He was scoring goals for fun. He was assisting. He was intelligent. He was aggressive. He was a bit nasty, streaking him. He had skill.
Scored some outrageous goals.
Goals, and some of his build-up play as well. Yeah, some of his build-up play.
And he gave him away before Wings. I fucking
but I get that, Kenneth. But look, Dele Alli was a toxic player. Winks is not as toxic as Dele Alli. You have to get rid of toxic players. So,
holy shit! Yeah, have you seen the passes that Winks does sometimes? He missed like 50 out of 50 passes.
Yeah, but
It's a terrible analogy, but if you're not all rowing in the same direction and someone's rowing the opposite way, the ship ain't going to go the direction you want it
exactly.
to go
in. Dele Alli, his head's not. Yeah, his head.
How many of you guys on the panel play football? Guys,
Kenneth, I used to play football, but Kenneth, let me ask you. Let me say this.
Football for 20 years.
Kenneth,
let
me.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Dele Alli, right? His head left Spurs, right, and his passion for Spurs. The day we lost that Champions League final, and Mauricio Pochettino, his demeanor, his passion, his attitude towards Tottenham completely changed, purely because he knew Daniel Levy wasn't going to do what was necessary to completely rebuild that squad.
I think it's more about
it's not.
Yeah, it's not
Kenneth, Dele Alli, in his message today, the only manager he credited was Mauricio Pochettino. That tells you that he had an affection and a relationship with Pochettino, and he didn't have that with any of those other managers. And that's another reason why Dele Alli stopped playing for the badge, because as soon as Poch left, Poch was the one that gave him the belief, right? As soon as he left, that was it. It was done. Dele Alli's career was done. We should have got rid of half the team then. That's when we should have got rid of half the team.
I'm gonna be a little bit angry. Yes, you know. Sorry.
Just 1 second before you become angry.
He became a prima donna. He's in love. His girlfriend is the manager of Manchester City, and all the stuff, clothing and all the. He became like a Hollywood, more than football. He didn't concentrate about football.
Kenneth, I think pretty much everyone saw the last 2 years. The guy, the look in his eye, right? Yeah, for those people that absolutely love Dele, that was missing. That sort of like the arrogance, the swagger. Listen, guys, I want to introduce a lady to our crowd. Ellie. Ellie, how are you? How are you, Ellie?
Ellie.
Ellie, there's a picture missing of you. Is that done deliberately?
Oh no, I don't know why.
Did you choose it before you came into the studio? Okay, not to worry. But viewers out, this is Ellie. Ellie, first of all, before we start, this transfer window, if you had to give it a score between, say, 0 and 10, what would you give it, and why?
I already commented on that on another stream, but I'll give it to you guys as well.
Give me a short version of it.
I think it's a 4, right?
Okay.
2 for getting out all the dead wood, sort of temporarily, some of them, but Dele, and 2 for the players, because we don't know how they're going to be in the Premiership. We can see how they've been performing in the Serie A, but even Kulu got loaned out to Parma and done fantastic. then came back and never got really a lot of game time under the new management. So hopefully he'll hit the ground running and we'll see the best of him. And
Brilliant.
the other guy,
Go on.
Bentancur, he scored a worldie in his game against Uruguay. So hopefully he can do the same for us. Apparently, a lot of people are more excited about Kulu, but Bentancur might be the one who's the dark horse.
I'm more excited. I'm more excited for Bentancur because I think he offers more. He offers something different than what we got. He is a similar kind of player to. He is a similar kind of player to like Winks and Højbjerg. I'd say he is kind of, and I think Will Stewart said it. He's like a hybrid. It's like if them two had babies, that's Bentancur, right? Yeah, Bentancur's that. And Will Stewart said it. I think it was Will. And apart from that, what I like about Bentancur, the only difference is from what I see from he's a bit more aggressive than a Winks, right? So he's kind of got a bit of the Højbjerg aggression, but maybe even more than Højbjerg, right? Because it's got that South American aggression.
That's even better,
right? Which is better, but he's also got that kind of more forward-thinking brain. So he's not the most intelligent player, but he looks forward rather than sideways or backwards. So like
he's got a pass on him now.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a pass on him. That's what I mean. So like, and he likes to drive as well. He likes to drive with the ball. He doesn't. He can hold the ball a bit better.
Say something to the Tottenham girl who came on. Loved. Wouldn't you love to hear what Conte thinks about all this?
Soon, it will happen soon. It's going to happen soon. You know that, right? Yeah. Listen, I'd like to give a couple of shout outs to a couple of people that have come into the chat. Into the chat, if you don't mind. Tottenham away, obviously, I'm assuming that's Coach Stell. And over here, we've also got, he's basically saying, to dare is to do, Danny Kiriakou. Obviously, Faz is in the house. Faz is in the house saying Delhi was playing badly before Poch left. I think there was probably other reasons as to what was going on inside the dressing room before Poch left. Something was obviously going on between Poch and upper management, and therefore between him and the players. That was apparent. Prodomax in the house. He's saying when a world-class player enters average, plays average, toxic fans, i.e. fans who would like to criticize, call him poor. And when an average player plays above average, fans call him super. Completely delusion. And toxic, and I think to a certain degree what he's saying is that basically, from what I can carry, if you don't mind me just having pull out from it, is basically we will put down a really good player, okay, who has all the attributes that we need to be a good player, i.e. to be a great player. But when it comes to a bang average, pass it sideways player who suddenly decides I'm going to start playing the ball forward, we're going to say, wow, man, he needs to be captain. Give him an honorary doctorate. Right, and I think that's what he says, basically saying that completely delusional and toxic, and just I know you guys have got your 2 pence on this, but my own is that I think fans are very, very passionate. But before you do that, there's one more person I'd like to give big up, and that is Bryce in the house. Bryce from Down Under.
Good day, Bryce.
He's in good day all True Blue Spurs. Thank you very much for coming. Bryce. And coming back to what Prodomax said here, any of you guys want to kick this one off? Go for it. I'll give you my 2 pence.
Yeah, when a class player plays bad, then I'm going to call him bad because he should be playing better because apparently he's class. It's like simple as that. That doesn't make me toxic. That makes me stating the obvious.
Yeah.
Expect better from him.
Call a spade a spade. That's what it is.
I mean, the point that I think one of the points that Prodomac has made before, as well as making again now, is that No, he's not. He's basically saying, listen, top class players, right? Yeah. Sometimes people have a consistent view, and it takes time for them to change it. So don't worry about that. He's basically saying that top players are top because they keep themselves very focused on their professional outlook. And if that's the case, then what they're doing is they're looking for the advantages that they can gain rather than crying about the disadvantages that are laid before them. And that's what a top, like a Ronaldo, for example, has that mentality of wanting to achieve. He's not happy with himself when he doesn't, he's more hard on himself than what you can be. So a top quality player would be able to play under any manager, right? So if you look at Kane, for example, didn't matter which manager you put in front of him, the guy was like knocking the ball out of the park. And no matter how many times people slagged off
Play
Jose,
for Nuno. Nuno was that line.
I should know what. There's a word missing in Protomax thing, and that's under any top manager system.
Yeah.
But what's he trying to say? What's he trying to say about the Delhi's not top class? Apparently, Delhi's not, what does he mean by that? I don't understand.
Basically, what he's saying is that Delhi had an opportunity to get to this stage here, which we loved. Now, there's a few more stages just above that, and we all felt that he was going to reach those stages and become like the next world-class player. Honest to God, I'm not joking. That's how I felt.
Right? Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden, come like 3 transfer windows without buying anyone, and then we've got Poch looking more and more ragged all the time, turning around and saying, you know what, I'm just a coach. Stop asking me questions. So it seems very similar to the way that Conte is saying a few things right now. But we'll see.
I mean, look, we all know Dele Alli had that potential to be a world-class player, but he just wasn't consistent enough.
So it could be just that it's that one manager.
I was having this argument with someone on Twitter today, and you know that I don't know if you guys saw it on We Are Tottenham TV. They posted my tweet on there where I replied to someone's comment, right, saying, "Would you class Dele Alli as a legend, Tottenham legend?" And I basically said it's a disgrace to call him a legend, and I basically said because the guy gave us 2 to 3 years of good football. Right, and then for the last 3 years, he's been an absolute disgrace to the badge because he just basically hasn't given a shit. Right now, and I said you can't compare him to the level of Kane, Son, or Lloris because them guys have been giving us top level football for nearly every single year they've been a Spurs player. Right, and that's the difference. Even though, and I basically said we haven't won anything. Right, I said Dele Alli has been a hero at times, but I'm glad he's gone because it gets rid of the toxicity, right? Because unfortunately, he won't be classed as a legend. Because for me, in my opinion, that is how I feel. I feel that someone like Glenn Hoddle is a legend. Harry Kane is a legend. Even though Kane's not won a trophy, Kane's given everything every single season. Lloris given everything every single season. Player and Son as well. Apart from his first season where he was getting used to the league, every single season he's given everything. Right? Dele Alli, he's just been an absolute piece of shit the last 3 years, and to be honest with you, it's a shame because we all expected more. We know his ability, and that's why he's never going to be deemed a world class player because he doesn't have the mentality of a world class player.
I think. Look. I think to a certain degree we're going to find out what happens to him next when he goes to Everton. So I think that's something we need to reserve for like 6 months to next season to find out what he does in a new place and environment. Was something at Spurs holding him back? We will find that out. But I just want to move quickly on to Andy Lloyd.
Sorry, can I just interrupt you one more? Sorry, Mr. K. I just want to say as well, like Dele Alli was kind of like, I think someone said it today earlier on one of the shows, but Dele Alli was kind of like a prodigal son basically. When he came into the team, he was this unknown kid, and he kind of just hit the ground running so fast, and his rise to the top at that time for the last few years, he was so crucial to our team and the way we played. He was a phenomenal player, and it's like I know that Potomax guy said something about a top player can play in any system. The problem is what happened with Dele Alli. This is my opinion, what I feel, what I've seen. What happened with him is when he was rising to the top, no one knew who this guy was, right? People didn't know how he played, his game, his style, what his tricks are, what kind of type of player he was, what he did in games. But after a couple years, when he was playing in our prime years with the Poch team, with the desk kind of front four of the Ericsson, Son, Kane, and him, right? They were so good at interchanging between each other, teams couldn't deal with it. But then what happened when we started to tail off, and Dele Alli started to tail off? People started finding out his game more, and he was more predictable. And that was another thing as well, because the team started to fail together. He failed as well because he wasn't playing the same way that he was playing, and he wasn't like his key thing with the runs into the box, playing as a second striker. Sometimes you see him go beyond Kane, and then Eriksen whipping a ball or something, and he'd go and put it in the back of the net. How many times did Eriksen create chances and put the ball on the plate for Dele Alli, and all he had to do was put it in? And we didn't have that, and we lost that as soon as we lost some key players. We lost the way our kind of formation, our system, and how we played. And Dele Alli is a very particular player. He has to play in a certain way, and people have to play around him. He was kind of like a luxury player in a way, in a weird way, because we had players like Dembele and Wanyama who just sat behind him, and everything that he messed up, they would just pick up and sweep the ball up. He had a brick wall behind him, and that's why Dele Alli was so good for us.
Most of you guys on the panel knows my name, and but I want to just put a smile on the girl who just joined us on the panel.
Ellie.
Yeah.
Ellie.
Yeah.
Ellie?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You know, you see my name, Kenneth Tottenham Hotspur. I changed my name to Tottenham Hotspur in 2004. And my passport, driving license, all over. For real.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Listen, Kenneth, I just want to quickly. I don't think Ellie knew that before, but it's. I think a lot of viewers out there don't outside the Will Stewart's THFC rant. They've probably never come across it before. But yeah, Kenneth actually has changed his name to Tottenham Hotspur. I just want to quickly say hello to some of the viewers that have just recently come in. And first of all, I'd like to thank Gaguma who's come in. Hello, Gaguma. Thank you for coming to the show. Gaguma. She's put in a super sticker. I don't know which sticker. Let's have a look. It's a little fox, I believe, sending out bare love, which doesn't reflect in through here, unfortunately, through StreamYard. I'd also like to give a big thanks and hello to David over here who's popped in, and also to Adi Vijaya. Vijaya is asking a question. It says, I've always had a hunch that the coach, even if it was Poch, Conte is limiting the Delhi creativity on the pitch, or maybe he's a lost player who can support him. There is an Eriksen when he was at his peak. So I'm not too sure how that's been written down, but I'm getting some. Eugene, can you make the gist of what's been written down from Adia?
No, I think more or less what Adi is saying is that, right? I always have a hunch that that the coach, even it was Poch or Conte, is limiting the creativity of what Delhi's trying to do, and maybe with Eriksen there, it supported him a lot, right? So without Eriksen there, so Delhi is a bit lost. Because I think over here he's continued to say maybe Delhi is too focused on his boohoo man fashion brand and his football. I think whatever's happened, he certainly lost his mojo. You know, when you look at this boy over here and you look at the type of like aggression that this guy is showing and exhibiting, right?
He was more dynamic then.
Yeah, I think I think
it's circumstances, right? I said it in the comments. It's an accumulation of many circumstances that changed Dele Alli's course of his Spurs future and his path. It's a lot of internal club stuff. So you've got managers, teammates leaving, different formations, different tactics, that kind of stuff. And he's had a lot of different managers in the last 2 years. I mean, he's had 5 different managers pretty much, right? And only one of them played the way that he really likes to play, and that was Poch. So
Panel,
on top of that,
sorry guys, I'm getting out of battery, and
okay, Kenneth.
Right, Kenneth.
Take it easy,
I'll be in the chat and watch. Okay.
All right.
If you've got some points to make, Kenneth, put them up into the comments right here, and I'll highlight them, and then we try.
Yeah, I would really like to say hello to new Spurs girl on the panel also. So
it's beautiful to have Ellie on.
International woman of mystery.
Yeah, I have a bad.
Kenneth, are you aware? Kenneth, are you aware that Ellie used to be a Spurs player? She used to play for the ladies' team. She's a bit of a, she's a bit of a club legend as well. She's a bit of a club legend, have you know?
Yeah, of course, there was, I went to also. She probably knew him. I was in. There's a bar called Couch and Horses, and I was in there, and the father of and she probably knows this girl, but I forgot her name. And his father was there drinking beer with me, and she was playing. This is 2019, I think. Yeah, around there. So she definitely know.
No. She was playing a long time before 2019, unfortunately. So she's, I'm not gonna tell a lady's age, but she's definitely one of the more mature ones.
Small world.
He was a pioneer.
Listen, I'd just like to let any new viewers out there that have been trying to go into the back studio and you're having difficulty and you're timing out, try again with the connection, because I can see you coming into the back studio, but I can't see you coming here. Right, Kenneth, make sure your battery's done, and please do pop things into the comment for us so I can interact with you further. Okay. I just want to quickly move on.
No worries.
Okay, I'd like to pop on to what Prodamag is just responding back to you, Danny, and I think we should really kind of move on a little bit from so much what we feel about the Denny, because Gagumas likes to point out that thank you for joining the stream. Please chat with us, subscribe and like if you possibly can, you lovely viewers. And Agent Celery's in the house.
Yes, Agent.
He's in the house, and he's spreading the love. And he's having the love spread around him, which is always good to see. Guys, and Ellie, I think Ellie's been very quiet, and so is Barry. And I like really to get your opinions on a couple of things, really. Ellie, if you had a choice, purely a choice, that you could rewind the time and go back into that transfer window, would you pick up a world-class defender, a world-class midfield player, or a world-class striker, if you had the choice, but you can only choose one of those three positions? Ali, are you there?
Lost.
No. In that case, Sean, Barry, would you like to answer that question?
Yeah, I mean, I think Diaz for me, or we spoke a couple of times about why we didn't try and do something for Gomes with Ndombele. I think Danny spoke about that as well, but yeah, that would have been one of the two that would have really probably made it a 7 for me. I think, look, right, it's coming up to the next transfer window is going to be difficult as well, because the World Cup's in November, end of November, December. So realistically, unless there's someone that's really out of favour that is world class, which is probably going to be unlikely, I don't see us doing, I'm not saying let's be negative, but I don't see us doing, it's going to be interesting. Let's just say it's not going to be a normal summer window, right? Because the World Cup's coming thick and fast. Then we've got the January transfer window. So actually, I think the next January transfer window will probably be more, we'll have something, because you'll see the people that would have been on show at the World Cup that wouldn't necessarily have got that exposure. So but again, that's the potential player, not the established player that we probably want, And then
right. So basically, you had a choice of a world-class player. You could have chosen Messi, Maradona. Sorry, apart from Maradona, Ronaldo. But no, seriously, any wish of the magic wand. I mean, come on, Giza. Who would you go for? A striker? Like, is there any? If you had a complete pick, say you had maybe, I don't know, 400 million pound in the bank, right? Ali will come back, by the way.
We've got 400 million that we can spend, Mr. K.
let's just pretend you could, right? Yeah, and you could just splash it. This is anywhere in any direction you like. One player, front, middle, or back. Front, middle, or back.
It's got to be middle, mate. It's got to be middle. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. I'd like to pose this really silly question to you as well, Jason.
For me, it would have been the back, but I'll give you a sensible answer. I'd have bought Tariq Lamptey. I'd have just thrown some money at him and bought him. Because that's a player I think we should get anyway. Just to be.
I think they're going to try and go for him in the summer. Whether they
get him, dude. Because I'd be stoked if we signed him.
Yeah,
if we threw 50 mil at them for him, there's no way they're going to say no.
The thing is, I think I'll be honest with you, Jason. 50 million for Tariq Lamptey, I think, is way too much, purely because of his injury record, and I don't want to go and spend a massive amount of money on a player who could potentially get injured for half a season. For me, as much as I love him, I'd pay max 30 million for him. But
I don't think that's going to get him.
I don't think it will, and that's why I don't think Tottenham are going to get him unless they can. Paratici can work some kind of magic deal where he pays. It is a £50 million deal, and he pays him like 10 million or 20 million a year or something like that.
Well, maybe 30 up front, but if he like after so many games, you
yeah, it
bung on
might
the extra,
like performance related or appearance related. Yeah, because Paratici. The reason why Daniel Levy loves him so much is because he does these kind of crazy deals where he structures it in such a beneficial financial way, and that's why Daniel Levy's been wanting him for years, because he's so good at structuring deals, so you don't have to pay out all in one go. He can pay like 3 or 4 years, and you could do these weird kind of appearance bonus. It's like Football Manager, you know, in Football Manager you can do like after 10 goals or after 10 appearances or whatever it is, you get a certain fee. That's what Paratici does in real life. He does that. So yeah, I mean, look, if I would say, like, realistically, I want Mazraoui. He's going to be a free agent in the summer, and he is a fucking brilliant right back. 24 years old, 6 foot, plays for Ajax, if you don't know who he is, and he's very good at crossing the ball as well, good defensively. I think he'd be an improvement on what we've got, and he's free. He's a free agent. He'll be a free agent unless Ajax or someone else snaps him up. That's who I would go for. But if I could pick any player, if money was no object, the one player I'd get right now is Cancelo. João Cancelo.
From M City.
Yeah. He is an absolute baller. He is exactly what we would need in a Conte system. He is perfection, I think, at right back. And he can play left wing back as well. He can play left back, right back, left wing back, right wing back. He can even play further up the field. The guy is just unbelievable. And if you watched, you just have to see how he plays and watch how he crosses the ball. He's a phenomenal player. I'm gutted we never went for him when he was at Valencia, and we actually had a chance to go for him as well. And that was when we brought in. I think it was the time we brought in Aurier. I think it might have been then. I think that was the time But anyway, Mr. K's on mute.
You're on mute.
Sorry, I was. I've done that a few times. I have. Listen, I'd like to find out if Ellie's in the house. Ellie, are you there? No, not yet, but she will be soon. So I'm just going to keep her on silent. Ellie, if you do come back, then please unmute yourself to come back in. We've pretty much gone up. I mean, I think this point over here about where our focus would be, I'm pretty much with Protomac on this, where I look at our squad front, middle, and back. And you know what? The one view I haven't heard yet is Eugene. Do you agree with Protomac that we should balance the squad if we could get a world-class player and put them in like defensive position, or do you think sod it? You know, if I had to get one player, and you know the one player would be, would you say that it would be this guy here?
No, I
learn from Kane.
For us at the moment, what I believe in, right, our forward side, we do have 2 world-class players, right, over there. Our midfield is where we are very weak at the moment, because don't forget, at the back, we still got Romero coming back, right? So hopefully Romero will be the steal of our defense at the moment, right? And what's been happening is that we don't have a proper midfielder. So if we were to get a world-class player, I will put him in the midfield. Right?
What about this Papa Sarr?
Papa Sarr is still 18 years old. Will he fit into Conte's plans?
Let's forget about it. Let's leave that question for 2 years. Okay?
And he's in and out. He's in and out of the Mets team at the moment.
Yeah,
so
I think Papa Sarr is Papa Sarr is going. Papa Sarr is having a fit. Papa Sarr is having a Kane moment in Mets at the moment, I guess, when Nuno came in, right? So maybe he wanted to join Spurs as fast as possible, but he wasn't happy there. But like I said,
Ali in the house by any chance? Ali, are you there?
No,
not quite. Fair enough. We'll leave that.
But like I said, midfield, we do need a world-class midfielder, right? Who can at least put in 15 or maybe 10 goals a season to help out the strikers. That's all I see. Right?
Yeah,
well, we are trying to buy one. I mean, we do want Kessie.
Yeah, but he's not that kind of goal-scoring midfielder. He's more.
I want goal-scoring midfielders.
Jason, but Jason, you know, we wanted Adama.
Do you know what?
We wanted the bloody moon on a stick, man. You know, I've got the closest thing to it.
Look, we all know we need about 6 or 7 more players, right?
Yeah.
But I think for me, I just think that the key positions, and if I could, I'd probably even upgrade Reguilon if I'm honest.
He's all right. He's all right.
But he's all right.
Yeah. You just
All
said
right
he's
isn't
all
going
right.
to win you anything.
No, he's Reguilon. Unfortunately, is not as good as everyone thinks he is. He's a bit too weak defensively. He's good going forward, but the problem is he's not great going forward. He's not direct. He doesn't run at defenders. I think Sessegnon is braver going forward than Reguilon, right? He actually attacks and drill and actually attacks the defenders, right? But the difference is
terrible defensively.
But the thing is Reguilon's got a decent cross. That's the difference, right?
Yeah.
Sessegnon's cross is not as good as Reguilon's. And you just got to remember, right, in the way that Conte system works, his main reliance is on the wing backs. That's why I think you have to have world-class wing backs in order to win big trophies, right? You just have to go back to the best season I've probably ever seen in my lifetime, right? As in watching and supporting Spurs, was the 16-17 season, and the two best players were Danny Rose and Kyle Walker. They were the two best wing backs or right and left backs in Europe at the time, right? And the reason why we were so good is because when they two bombed forward together, they suffocated teams. It pushed people so far back that we were in their half for the majority of the game, every game, whether that was Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, whoever it was. Every single team we played, we suffocated them. And that's where, if you look at Man City, right, that's why Man City and Liverpool do that, because they've got unbelievable wing backs. And for me, I think the wing backs is the most key position in modern day football.
Totally agreed. We've got some more comments which have come in right now, but before I do that, I do want to change my background just a little bit and reflect it accordingly. I think that was the season you're talking about, right? I do believe. That was the one
Ellie,
where gonna
hi Ellie.
Ellie's
Ellie's back.
Yeah, she's come here. Certainly, and you've changed your name to Ellie. Kay loves the Thays, Kane and Kulu. You know what? Look, I'm just a positive guy. I like the fact that we got 2 new players coming in. It's sad to see some players go. I'm excited, but I'm easy to please, right? So Ellie, I've forgotten what the question was that I was supposed to ask you before. Super sub. That's it, super sub. Ellie, if you had a choice and you had 400 million to spend and you could spend it on one player, which world-class player would you get? Defensive player, a midfield player, or an attacking player? You don't have to pick a player, but you can. Which area would you put him into? If you have one in particular, then please let us know. Go on.
I particularly think we need an attacking player. The reason being, we've only scored 26 goals this season, which is quite poor for Spurs' standing. Yeah, we normally score a lot more goals by this time of the season, so we've got to improve on that. Otherwise, we're not going to win as many games, right? So I would bring in an attacker. And you know what? Arsenal are after this player called Isaac. I don't know if you've watched him, guys, but he's absolutely fabulous. We should hijack them and get him in for next season so they don't get him, because he's fabulous. He's brilliant and he can score from all areas. He can assist. He's fantastic. I think we should go for him. That's my £5 worth over.
we tried to steal one of them off of Liverpool, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
No, but this is against Arsenal, right? So they've gone down a peg or two, you must admit. So they haven't got as much buying power as they used to. So they're not going to attract the players. They don't make Champions League either.
Yeah. I would love someone like Isaac. I think he'd be great because he's a young player. He's a good Swede. Also, someone just mentioned it in the comments, right? He'd be the cheaper option. Jonathan David. I think he's a great option. I think he'd be. Jonathan David is. I think personally, I don't think we're going to go for an Isaac, because even if we get Champions League football, I can't see Spurs spending 75, 80 million pounds, which is what his release clause is, right, on a player, on one player, especially when we've got so much work we need to do on the whole squad. If I'm honest, I'd rather spend 40 million or 40 million on a striker so you can go and get another 40 million pound player, because if they can go and they never know, they might go, if we get Champions League football, they might be able to go and get a Dybala and Kessie on a free transfer. You pay what, 10 million pound each signing on fees. That's 20 million pounds for 2 fucking top class players, right? And that sorts out 2 big problems in our squad. Then you go and get, you can go spend 60 odd million on an attacking midfielder, or you could spend all your budget on a Barella or someone like that. Because that's my dream. Someone like a Barella, he would be absolutely world class in this Tottenham team.
Listen, all the budget, because you're not going to get another chance. The moment you let go, Levy's taking over. So spend all of it.
But do you know what, right? It's funny, right? Because someone said it today. Yeah, what I believe I saw as well in this transfer window is that their 2 top targets, or their main target, was Adama Traore, right? Levy was controlling that throughout the whole window, right? The whole window, and then the last couple of days, when he wasn't going to pay the money, right? Barcelona struck the deal, which was, funny enough, it was an actual loan deal with an option to buy, so they don't even have to buy him if he doesn't turn out that well in the next 6 months, which, again, that might be one Tottenham might revisit if he doesn't work out for him and they don't sign him on a permanent. I expect them to probably go back in for him. But if they don't, what's quite funny is the fact that when they tried to go for Luis Diaz as well, obviously, it was a low ball move. It wasn't a move of intent, right? Because if it was a move of intent, they would have just said, right, here's the asking price. We're going to pay it right now. They would have done the deal, and it would have been done. And they could have done that at the beginning of the window. But I think that was just to see what they could get, basically. I think Luis Diaz was let's see if they would accept our lower offer, right? Then when he ended up going to Liverpool, that in the last couple of days, that is when I think Levy was like, fuck. He was like, right, here you go, Paratici. I'm going to let you do your shit now. And I think that is what happened. What we saw happen, right, would have never happened if Levy, all those players going out and those players, the 2 players coming in, that never would have happened if Paratici wasn't there. Now, that's the only good thing that I will give him credit for, because Daniel Levy, I want not Daniel Levy credit, Paratici, Daniel Levy let the guy do. Yeah. Daniel Levy let the guy do his fucking job, right? Which he should have let him do at the start of the window. Now, if we do get top 4, I think that kind of last few days, I'm hoping might have shown that idiot Daniel Levy, the kind of things we need to see to basically say, oh, actually, I'm going to let this man do his fucking job in the summer and bring in the players we need to bring in. But we have to wait and see.
You know, before you continue, right? Yeah, very, very quickly, right? Yeah, I just want to quickly say hi to Sean for jumping into the stream. Sean, I'll be with you in a second. But right now, we've got a news flash from Will Stewart, who's mobile right now. He's out and about. Will, how are you? Yeah,
I'm good. How are you guys?
Not too bad, Will. Thank you for joining us. You 2 pence. If you got a score between, say, 0 and 10 for what you think this transfer window means to you.
This transfer window means to me, like, outgoings, maybe like an 8. Incomings, 4. So 6.
So in between 6.
5.5, 6.
5.5, 6. I'd like to quickly, before we continue in any other types of discussions, I'd like to get maybe Sean's opinion as well. Sean, this transfer window, it's thank you for coming to the show.
Hey, Sean.
I've asked this question to everybody.
Sean.
I've asked this question. No, you've become an instant hit on this show, mate. So listen, very quickly, because I've asked this to everybody. You know, for yourself personally, how you feel. What would you give this particular transfer window yourself? Like, what you feel that you should give it, and maybe quickly just why you might give it that score out of 10, between 0 and 10.
So first thing I just want to say, thank you for having me back on. The last time I came on, I threw a smoke grenade left and everything exploded, and I do apologise about all that to everyone.
No, that's my fault, honestly. Trust me.
Thank you for having me back on. In terms of the window, I'd say it's a 7 out of 10. I think the players.
You're like me then.
The players out were great. I think we shot our load too quickly with Brian Hill. That wasn't it didn't turn out to be a necessary loan. The players in, I think, are great. They're better than the 2 players that we should have got or we could have got. I didn't want Diaz. I didn't understand Adama.
Yeah, I didn't want Diaz.
And then the 2 players that we ended up getting are far better, far more my first choices. And I think now naturally we have to go to a 3-4-3 to make use of the squad that we have, which actually suits my perfect idea anyway. But it's not a perfect window because we didn't get the right wing back or a striker that we needed. However, no January window is ever perfect. So I call it a 7 out of 10. And I think that Paratici has worked some magic. And I think that Daniel Levy's probably taken his foot off the gas, which is the first positive thing that everybody, Levy in, Levy out, wherever you sit.
But Sean, he did that, didn't he? I think he did that in the last. Once he knew those 2 deals that they went for weren't going to happen, he was like, "Oh fuck! I've tried to do my Levy shit for the whole window." And he's like, "Right, fuck it, I'm going to take my foot off the gas."
Maybe.
Paratici, you go and do your shit because if he didn't, there's no way in hell we would have sold Dele Alli, Ndombele, Lo Celso, and Hill in 2 days.
Yeah.
But either way, God works in mysterious ways. Either way, everyone, Levy in or Levy out, should all be happy that Daniel Levy, for whatever reason, has taken his foot off the gas. And now we can let the people that know football do the football stuff. And I'll sit back now and say thank you.
He's got to continue to do that in the summer, which is what I was just saying before.
Guys,
Yeah.
I think this is the thing though. Right now, we've seen a similar pattern play out to previous windows. Things are done at the last minute. It's a very simple pattern that we've seen time and time again. That's obvious. But where it gets us right now, look, I gave it a 7 only because I'm really optimistic sort of person. Sean's given it a 7 because he sees the similar type of things maybe I see. Other fans are going to see 1. They're going to see 1.5 because they're thinking, hey, hold on a second. Why are we always asking for a player in X position? Well, we always get 2 players in Y. But I want to bring attention to your Gaguma right now, who's put in a lovely super sticker. It's of a fox again, even closer, pulling faces, and she's highlighted the fact that that Will Stewart's in our panel right now. Will, you've come along. Anything of notable? Anything you kind of would like to pick apart for this January transfer window? Your 2 pence on anything?
Yeah, I mean, it was better than the summer window, that's for sure. So I mean, that's a positive. Do I think that like it was like a work of genius? I mean, no. It's kind of like I'm starting a new company and I go hire my old employees, right? Like that's the safe thing to do, right? Getting the players out. If we actually end up getting money for them, because a lot of them are kind of like contingent on whether they do certain things or we do certain things. It's yet to be seen how beneficial that's going to be. And that too, of the signings that came in cost us cash, right? So it is contingent on things at different levels. But I mean, I personally think that Kuleveski, he's special in his own right. He's left-footed. He's redheaded. He's lucky to be alive genetically. So just that right there, you got to know that there's something special about him. Is he a weak little boy?
That's awesome.
Is he?
That's superb.
Is he a weak little boy like Brian Hill is? No. So is he an upgrade on Brian Hill? Yes. Right.
Yeah,
so
definitely an upgrade on Brian Hill.
For me, So I see it as kind of being that being a decent signing. We've come up with a new nickname for Bentancur right now. We call him Bentekers. So Bentekers, I think it's going to be a pretty decent. I think he's going to be a pretty decent deep line playmaker. Probably better than anyone we have in that position. So I actually see us being stronger in a 3-5-2. I think if we in a 3-4-3, our options are very limited. We kind of just have a Son, Kane, Kuleveski / Mora. Then we have kind of a little bit weaker midfield.
You know what? You actually have a point there.
I would like to see us play 3-5. Yeah, I would like to see us in a 3-5-2. The up top pairings are kind of numerous. You could have Son Kane, Bergwijn Kane, Mora Kane, Kulusevski Kane. In that midfield, you could have, Son's played in the midfield before. Kulusevski can play in the midfield. Mora can play in the midfield. So you've got a middle three of anywhere from Pure or Højbjerg, Skip, Bentekers, Son, Mora, Kulusevski, Bergwijn. Right? There's so many different things that you can do. The window for me probably would have been 8.5, 9 out of 10 if we would have signed a right wing back, because Emerson is just horrible. Guys,
I think Sean Barry from Southside Spurs, aka Nicholson, he's not feeling too well. Barry, are you okay? You think you might have to pull out the stream?
No.
Oh, that's why I just read in the private chat. Sorry, I did think
he's sick because I'm waving the red shirt.
Here's me getting concerned, right? You're thinking, oh my days, what's going on?
He said, I can get it out if you want. So
you sick guys, you stop. There's a comedy section going on.
By the way, viewers, not anything else that he could get out on his.
Well, depends how late we go. It depends how late we go, bro.
You never know.
Listen, I'd like to give Mr. Singh over here, Maninder Singh, a big shout out as well. He's saying Bentancur with the goal. So that was apparently, I just had a quick look at it. That was a goal and a half. It's nice to know he's got that in his locker. But that may be the only goal he scores for a year like Bergwijn did against that Man City game.
He could be the next Lo Celso, mate. He could be always scores for his country, never does anything for his club.
It's he could. Look, the way I look at it is that I'm positive because he's ginger, and Will has given him the stamp of okay. The man from Del Monte says yeah. And personally, I think Bentancur himself, right? Yeah, is a player which I've kept an eye on for quite a number of years, and I like. And you know what? Maybe 5 years ago, I think it would have been impressive if Spurs had got him 5 years ago. I think now getting him, maybe a little bit shine and is is not there as much on the name Bentancur. But back in the day, sure, this was like one of the kids that was going to come along and rip it up in the world.
You do know, right? That was his. I think that was his first goal for Uruguay.
He sounds like a Lo Celso already. I can't wait for him to twist an ankle.
Danny, luckily we got him early. If not, it'll cost another £5 more million.
Yeah, but we're not buying him to score goals, though. Are we?
No, definitely not.
Yeah. But it would be nice if he did score goals, right? Like I said, I've been saying, right, we need goal scorers around the pitch. It doesn't matter
whether well, the thing is, right, we have got goal scorers on the pitch, but look, he's made 181 appearances for Juventus. He's only scored 3 goals, and he's got 18 assists. So it's not great stats, if we're honest. But I don't think they brought him in to be a creative player. They brought him in to do a better job than Harry Winks for 6 months. That's why they've done it, and he's gonna be a better squad player than Harry Winks. That's why they've done it. It's a cheap deal. It is a cheap deal, and it gives us another option for now. He is temporary, right?
18 assists.
He's had 18 assists in 181 appearances.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
That's 3 seasons.
In 3 seasons, yeah.
4 maybe.
Well, more, yeah.
Like if Højbjerg or Skip get injured, he's going to step in. Or if they're not playing well, he'll get.
Oh no, he'll be starting. He'll be starting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Than anybody else in the midfield.
I think they're going to weed him in slowly. They're not going to put him in straight away.
I don't
they've
think
got
so.
Højbjerg and Skip there.
I think he's match fit, so I think he'll be.
Yeah, he's going to start.
But you've got to be very careful because you've got to be very careful talking to Ellie, suggesting that Højbjerg's going to take.
Because he's not taking
Ellie knows.
No. Guys, I don't think he'll be taking Højbjerg's position. He'll be taking Winks' position.
Yeah,
he'll be replacing Winks.
Winks' position, yeah.
I bet him and Skip start against Brighton.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. If he's got his work permit done and he's ready to play, Skip
Bentancur's not starting against Brighton. No chance. £100 bet. Bentancur's not getting anywhere near the first.
Hoybier's been 100% starter under contract.
Bentancur's not even going to get back from Uruguay until Friday night. No
Thursday.
chance.
He's not going to start.
He flies in on Thursday. But he flies in on Thursday. He won't start. He probably won't start. He's gonna be on the bench if he gets his work permit. But we know what Tottenham are like, and when they do, he'll probably be able to have a work permit for fucking 2 weeks.
How's that Tottenham's fault? How's that Tottenham's fault?
Right.
Because it's just Daniel Levy, innit?
I told you, it's a new meme now. Everything's his fault.
Everything.
Daniel Levy's also playing right wing back for the rest of the season. The one position that we never managed to like.
Oh, good. If he does, I'll sit on him when I see him run past me.
At least he'll scare them all. They won't go near him.
I think some of the Tottenham
He'll
players
negotiate his way round them.
He'll negotiate a pass really well.
Yeah, it was negotiate.
I wanted a 10-yard pass, but I'll give you a 5-yard pass. Is that all right?
My days got me that
Nice.
He's going to overtake Winks for the killer passes.
Kulu might start. Kulu might play a big part, but no chance Bentancur plays any part on Saturday. No chance.
True.
If he's got his work permit, he will be brought on. 100%.
But don't forget the COVID protocols when he comes back.
Yeah, forget it, man. It's not happening. Bentancur's not going to start until at least the game against Wolves. Oh, sorry, Southampton. At best. At best.
Yeah.
Guys and lady, I would like to say, I played some stuff at the beginning of the stream. I'm not too sure if you guys heard it or not. And Ellie, I think you're constantly making that noise. But don't worry, I'm going to put something on right now just to quickly remind viewers, maybe they didn't see the beginning of the show, and yourselves as well. So just give me 1 2 second. I'm just going to put that across to there. Obviously, I normally would play something, let's have a look, like this, right? I've done it wrong.
I got broads in Atlanta. Music don't mean the family. Credit cards and the scammers.
Version of what I normally do. But what I came across was, from this protest, I remember scenes of last year and the time before last year. So what I did was I hunted out this clip.
Can't leave me, you fool cunt! I can see you! You can see me! You can't!
Right. Now that particular video, for all intents and purposes, it looked like Expressions had recorded that, and this was some time ago. And I know the person that was actually saying that. But what happened is somebody decided in their spare time, while they were having a cup of tea and thinking about Levy, they decided this. Now, obviously, now after a few iterations, this particular track made itself it's a techno track. It made itself into a few bars and so on. I think in maybe Amsterdam or Germany or somewhere. And someone decided that they're going to do this on top of it because there was a protest coming out last year. Now that was last year. That was, and if you look at how times have changed, like it's amazing, like what's happened, and like the creativity side is being strangled. And I think you know what it is. Whatever the opinion, there's a bit of fun and games, and a bit of levity that you can have with any type of system or organization or whoever's at the top. You know, I remember in the 80s we used to take the absolute maniacal out of Thatcher, and there was some amazing comedy that used to come on TV in regards to that. And I think to a certain degree, that's the type of feeling that needs to be reawakened, because we can't be angry with one another. We have to kind of come together and say, listen, we're all fans. We all love the club. But what we can do is we can have a right old laugh at and jiggle at some billionaire.
That is hilarious. I've never seen that before. I don't know if that's new. If that might be old to you, but I've never seen that before. Seeing that for the first time is absolutely A-class banter.
Sean, you know what it is? An awful lot of people that have got very good analytical skills and good information, knowledge inside certain sections of football, in the footballing world, they may not understand why some people are levy out. And sometimes the things that we say, they're from feelings and like over years of building up, and we just say things. We can't tell you the whole story. It'll take a very, very long time. But I'm thinking that maybe that is what should happen. People should maybe start to reveal their stories so that other people can empathize with them, see their point of view, still have a difference of opinion. That's perfectly fine. But, at the end of the day, people have feelings, and we're not all experts. Something in the past has made us cross the line when it comes to Levy as a person. And whatever that is, that's our entitlement, really. We can do that with Boris Johnson. We can do that with Levy. What I've seen is that, unfortunately, when people question people, sometimes they don't always have all the knowledge in their hand, and maybe they don't always know how to answer that particular question well. But people try to, and they come out with, cognitive dissonance sometimes. But I think the overall story is that people are finding more and more people like them, and that gathering has been growing. That community has been growing for a year and a half now, and that was just an example of what happened a year ago. So I'd like to see maybe
that's a year old, is it? That content.
That is over a year old.
Oh,
that's over
it's
a year
the first
old.
time I've ever seen it. Sorry if I was laughing too confused.
No.
I've never seen it before.
Dude, if you find it funny, you find
that's
it
hilarious.
funny.
I loved it as well when I
I've never
saw
seen
it.
it before. That's brilliant.
I thought it was brilliant as well.
I do have access to the people that created the techno dance music. I also have access to the person that originally did the old shouting out of Levy, you can see me. In fact, last year I think that was pretty much everything that was in the chat was about that, really. You can see me, I can see you. Levy, you cannot.
Do you know what's really sad, Mr. K? If you don't mind me just saying, right? So I had a long scheduled debate with Brian Daigle. That was supposed to be on the Irish Hotspur. Originally, it was supposed to be like the 1st or 2nd or 3rd of January, very early in the month. And then because of a bunch of... Actually, I think it was supposed to be like late December. And then because of Brian coming over for his buddy, Bob Spur, and then because of the January window, he put the dates back, and it was supposed to be the 1st of February. It's supposed to be today, I guess. And then I had a business opportunity tomorrow so I couldn't do it today. And then
good luck.
Thank you. But then it was scheduled then for the 6th. But I mean, I haven't spoken to Brian, but I spoke to Stelios, one of his mates, and Brian's, because of I don't know if it's entirely because of the whatever's happened, like some of the negative feelings that he's been receiving, the energy that's coming at him. He's pulled away, right? He's left a couple of groups and stuff on the WhatsApp things, and so the debate we were going to have is now no longer. It's not going to happen. I think it's for the best. I think it's for the best if he doesn't want to do it because of
I think after
it's because of this. It's because of this energy, this like passionate, divisive energy. If it gets to the point where it's no longer fun to talk about Tottenham, which is obviously how Brian feels right now, it's a fucking shame. Sorry to say, but it's a real shame.
Brian
just to let you know,
needs to step away from Spurs for a little bit.
Yeah,
he just
I think get tired. I think for doing it for a whole month.
Hold on, Mr. K, hold on. What it is with Brian, he just needs to take a step back and focus on other things other than Tottenham, because it's taking too much energy from him, and it's better for his own health and mental health that he doesn't speak about Tottenham until he's ready to speak about Tottenham. He's got a lot more important things in his life to worry about other than Daniel Levy and Tottenham, and he's put so much time and energy into these protests and everything else. And all it is he just needs to take a step away from it all and focus on like his family, his friends, and that sort of, and Bobby as well, because Bobby's getting better. And it just right now it's not the best thing for him.
No, I get it. I totally get it. But this is more like of a slate on the community, right? Like people that are of my inclination about Daniel Levy. I've never criticised Brian. I've always supported his right to do what he wants to do, and I've said, like, if you want to go and do that stuff, I've wished him best of luck every time he does it, right? But there's other people that don't feel that I guess are more inclined to feel the way I do. but that have got this nastiness about them on the Twitter, and it's whoever's out there that's like taking these things to the point where you're going to affect someone's energy and happiness. It's pathetic. Like we can all have different opinions, and it's sorry, Will. Yeah, mate. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say I'm pleasantly surprised that you say that, right? Because the thing that's been bothering me the most is that's like even on your channel over there with David, there's a spectrum of different views. But what's really bothered me is that so I have views that people find questionable. That would be the nice way to say it. But I've never, if somebody disagrees with me, I've never attacked them personally unless they've attacked me personally. And in fact, I actually enjoy it more when people disagree. Yeah. So I just find it like, for example, when like with Brian Hill and when we signed Brian Hill, all I ever said is that I didn't find the signing exciting, right? Like I wasn't excited about the player. Like, yeah, maybe he could come good in a couple of years, but he just wasn't going to impact us this year at all, for sure. And I was ostracized and called all sorts of nasty names from other content creators and people on Twitter. So it's I just don't understand why people do that. I just don't understand.
I don't get it either. I think it's because a lot of people. I think it's a combination. So like I'm fairly new to the online community. I only ever pop my face onto one of these channels for the first time back in late November, right? So, and I started my own channel in like mid-December or something. So I'm kind of brand new to the whole thing, but yeah, like I immediately found myself disagreeing with Dave, Irish Dave, about Daniel Levy, and then out of that came the thing with me and Brian. But I'm not a robot. I look at the comments, I look at what people say, and I'm not a Levy in like David, like Brian's a Levy out, but people always presume that I'm the polar opposite of him because I'm challenging him. And some of the things they've said about me on Twitter, personal messages, and on the shows is awful, right? But like I come from a digital marketing perspective, so I'm at least a little bit attuned to the concept of like don't look at the comments, because there's a lot of people out there that are.
That's my show. Look at the comments.
Well, but I try to be like, well, don't well, you can look at them, but don't absorb.
No, I agree. It must be harder. Honestly, I see the stuff that happens with you, and I think to myself that as a fan base, regardless of what we think other people negatively might say against us or whatever is being levied out, we mustn't become that negative towards people trying to give us a message. They're messengers. They have a knowledge. We need to find that knowledge. We need to incorporate into what we know, and therefore strengthen what we are as an individual person.
Agree,
on what decision.
But
There's no
also,
knowledge.
Also, mate, it's more. Sorry, buddy. Just one quickly. It's more than that. It's like you have no idea who the person is who's saying fuck you, Sean, or fuck you, Brian, or you're an idiot. You know what you're talking about. You have no idea what stresses they're going through in their life. And most people are just venting their own unhappiness or their own insecurities or their own vulnerabilities at best, right? So, and I've got like a thick enough skin to kind of like go, oh, whatever, man. I'm just sure you're having a bad day. And I don't take it to heart that much, but sometimes I do. But we all have, like, if we're all going to be content creators, if we're all brave enough to put our face on the screen, eventually, if you want to be someone who's got an opinion, like everyone can choose to be the yes man, but a yes man doesn't get any attention. If you want the attention, then you have to have an opinion that means something, and at least it should mean something to you. You're always going to get people that are going to call you out, but you should try your best to not let it affect you, because really they're just like amplifying their own bad energy rather than like absorbing yours, if that makes sense. You know?
Absolutely. Bad energy. Listen, we've got to, I'll tell you the truth, what's happened today is a bit unusual. I normally stop the show much earlier in 2 hours. I just felt that we've had a whole month of speculation and, basically nervous tension regarding what's going to happen with the transfer window. Will he, won't he, what will he, what won't? And we've now found out, and the dust is starting to settle. For me, it's not so much what we've gained, but it's more what we've let go. And I think we've held on to those players for a very long time. Sorry?
Yeah.
Someone's echoing.
Okay, sorry. I hope it's not me. No, it's not. I know my setup's fine. But if someone is echoing, please do let me know. But myself personally, like I said, for me, it's like time will tell whether or not these new players coming in would be any good or not. Of course, we have to give people time. Let's be sensible. Obviously, we need a yardstick, some sort of stats before they do come in, and obviously that's prudent to do so, right? So speculate, we need to have an idea, gauge an idea of what we expected to see, and that's always going to happen. Myself personally, I'm still in shock that Dele Alli's gone. Truthfully, I haven't. I'm saying it with my mouth. He's gone. I don't inside. I can't contemplate. He has. He's been such a permanent fixture in the last 7-8 years. Like for me personally, like that's all. Whenever I think of Tottenham, I do think of Dele Alli as being part of that. And even the last 2 years have been absolutely atrocious.
Do you feel like that abusive girlfriend's just left you? Is that what it is?
I miss that naughty spanking time. I want to sit in the corner.
Well, I mean, that's a bit too much info for me, bruv, but you share away, you know what I mean?
Wow.
But listen, guys, like I was saying, because it's been normally about 2 hours, I'd normally push it to about 15:15, but it's already been half an hour. It's flowed really, really smoothly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue this particular session because I feel that the viewers out there definitely like to get a little bit involved. There's actually more viewers actually now than there were in the beginning of the show. That's a fact. We almost doubled that. I think maybe Sean coming on has been a talisman, where all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, quick, get your dying vegetables and get some tomatoes. Sean's on the screen, and I think that's a bit unfair.
Wow!
look, Matthew's turned up. Hi guys, how are you all? We're well, thank you for coming. But I don't want to continue too much into going into the negative energy side of it. That's the reason why I put these special little videos up, just to give you guys a little sense of like, a little bit of fun, a little bit of a laugh.
Fun.
And sometimes you can point your finger and laugh at something or someone like Levy, and it's not all toxic. It's like people of any authority, they're going to have people that are going to like caricature them. There's people that are going to run a sketch and make it funny and so forth. So that's the way I look at it. I think that side is perfectly good to do. And people should enjoy it from both sides. Even Levy should sit down and say, wow, man, look, they made a techno track out of me.
Mr. K, I will say this about all of that. At the end of the day, there should always be opposing views. And one should never shy away from listening to someone with an opposite view to you. Otherwise, there's no room for growth. Do you know what I mean? You should always be open to listening to what someone has to say on a subject. Otherwise,
absolutely.
And Sean,
you could be wrong, and you should be big enough to admit that if you are.
Sean, if you need somebody to tap in for Brian, I'm available.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable person.
Yeah, well, okay.
Definitely take that up. Listen, guys. Okay.
I'll speak to Dave and Jack, see what they want to do, and if so, will 100%, bro. No problem.
All right.
All right. So listen, viewers out there, Ali has been obviously for the last hour or so been trying to connect in and out of the stream. She's basically saying that she can't connect, but she is listening. So all of you guys, if you need to communicate with her, you can do that through the chat. She's sad, but Dele, she's basically sad like me as well, and a bit confused, I think, like me, about the Adama situation, because that was really rubbed home to us that he was going to become a Spurs player. So much so that memes had come out about him and Baby Oil. Is anyone in the panel upset that transfer did not go through?
Not in the slightest.
No.
So is it like okay?
I'll be honest. I think if there was loads of rumours about Adama not wanting to play, Tottenham offered him like to be like a kind of like a utility player, like where mainly he'll be a right wing back, but they might use him at left winger, right winger at times. And apparently, on top of the Barcelona stuff, he didn't want to do that. He wanted to be just a winger, and Tottenham didn't want that. Okay. But that's fair enough. But if it was going to come in as a right wing back, and he was going to do the Conte work and listen to him and do the defensive side of the game as well, I think this guy could have been absolutely phenomenal as us as a right wing back. I really believe that. I think Conte
Not
could have.
this season, Bam. Not this season, mate. You can't. He's never. He's too big. He's he's a physical specimen. He can't do that fucking 10 kilometer runs up and down.
He can. If you watch him, he can. He does it a lot. He does it. The guy has got so much stamina. He runs. If he wants to, he can run all game. It's
he also has he's got no proof of his defensive capabilities.
I was going to say,
that's the biggest issue.
Wolves fans say he's not all that great defensively.
Yeah, I know. That's probably why I look.
Is there anyone else?
Although they said the same about Doherty and we ignored them, so like.
No, not Doherty. Let's not that one again. But Danny, you're right.
I think. Look, I would have liked him to have come in, but I'm not disappointed that he didn't. I would have liked him to have come in. I just think there's a lot better out there. I keep saying Mazraoui, he's fucking sick. That's who.
So Mazraoui. Mazraoui is always better.
I love Nassim Mazraoui, man. I was saying it. I was saying it a few months back. I think he's fucking class, and he's out of contract in the summer.
He is
be an
exactly.
Worldie.
Sean, I watch Ajax weekly. I know all their players, and he in their squad. My favorite players is him, Anthony, and Gravenberch, and also there's another defender. If you know, Robbie's come back on loan. He's doing really well for them, right? He's come back on loan. Haller's he's a beast for them. But there's a defender as well, a guy called Timber. He is class. This kid is going to be. He's going to be the next kind of like big defender they're going to sell in the next few years.
The only ready-made player to leave them to come to the Premier League that could adapt, in my opinion, Mazraoui. I agree with you, mate. He's fucking phenomenal.
Oh, Anthony Gravenberch could also come into the Premier League and hit the ground running.
I'm not sure we need him anymore, but Mazraoui, I think we absolutely need.
If you don't know Gravenberch, if you're saying that, Gravenberch is exactly what we would need in the midfield.
Maybe,
if it wouldn't, he's what you call he's like a box to box, right? But he's also got all the defensive abilities as say like someone like a Kessie has. Maybe not as a strong player as him, but the kid is so talented for his age.
I take back the Haaland statement I made earlier about the one world class player that I would take. You know what? I've changed my mind. I knew about Gravenberch, and he is. I'd put all my monies in putting him in. You would build your team around him.
He's class.
Okay,
he's
class. I'll lean to you on that knowledge, but
he's young though. I think Sean might be right. He hasn't seen enough from him. That's all.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because he doesn't watch him every week. I've been watching him for the last two and a half years since I've been with my missus every Ajax game pretty much. And this guy.
I agree with you about Mazraoui, mate. Mazraoui, I think.
Mazraoui is brilliant, honestly. And look out for this guy called Timber, right? He's 18-year-old centre back, and this kid, he's gonna be some player if he keeps developing the way he has. Anthony as well. Anthony, he kind of started playing as a striker for them, kind of gone to the right wing a bit more. He plays kind of across that front three, but it's mainly right wing and striker. And this kid as well, he's left-footed, so he cuts inside a lot. But he's what they call him, and he's what they call like the next Neymar in Brazil. And this kid as well, he's going to play for a Man City or a Barcelona in the next few years. Easy.
Yeah, definitely. That's going to happen.
He's so good.
Guys, go on, Sean.
No, I was just agreeing. Okay, I was like,
right.
I'll
guys, there's a few of us that need to kind of go. We have other things and other appointments that we need to make. And we have to get to. It's been like 2 hours and 40 minutes, which is like a lot longer than I ever expected. So thank you guys in the panel. Thank you viewers out there for watching, and all of you guys that have been typing into the chat. Absolutely amazing. Dermot's entered into the house, and it's absolutely brilliant. He's saying that basically big up Mr. K's panel, and also Sean. He is an absolute diamond geezer. I happen to agree with you. And Aglia is saying that I am because I was just going to be employed as the rub in his baby oil. Yeah, I kind of butchered how it's going to be said. Booted Levy for dumping on my dream job. And with that particular statement, right? Yeah, I want to say that basically I share the sentiment of Matthew. Hope everyone stays safe and well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys out of this particular stream. You'll be in the back studio. Hang around if you wish. It's a nice bit there. We have no cocktails, unfortunately. So you have to bring your own drinks, one of them cheap ones. But I'll go backwards and where I started from. Sean, you waited a long time before, so I'll start with you. Sean, viewers out there generally when I do an outro for Payable on the Panel, what have you got another show coming out soon? When can people kind of expect to see you again, your content? And also, is the name of your channel called the Spurs Talk Show?
Yeah. Spurs Talk Show. Thanks, Mr. K. Spurs Talk Show, all one word. At Spurs Talk Show on Twitter. I think I've got a show tomorrow at about 3 p.m. UK time. Nothing organised yet, but I'm sure I'll put it out there, and then I'll find the right panel for it. Listen, more important than any of that, make sure that everyone subscribes to all the other the channels on here. Mr. K, thank you. First of all, mate, thank you for having me back on, man. I feel like I was like a catalyst for some chaos.
No, that was down on me. I was the host. That was down on me. Trust me.
I was still the catalyst for it, so I'm sorry for all of it for anyone. And I appreciate you having me back on, mate. I love you. I love everybody on here. And thank you. See you all soon.
I see you soon. Ellie's come back to the stream. Ellie.
Yeah.
It's great to have you back for the last few minutes, but you know what? You stay there. I'm going to keep you on for a second, right? Danny, I'd like to really. When can people expect to see you on Tottenham on tour? Are you going to make an appearance? And when's the next time you're likely to show yourself again?
It all depends. I'm going to be busy the next sort of 12 days. My missus is coming over from Amsterdam, so I've got quite a lot of things booked up. So I know the Tottenham on Tour boys, if I can, I might join the mental health stream, the big mental health stream we have on Thursday.
On the 3rd.
Yeah, I think that is going to be an 8:30 start. We're just waiting on confirmation on that. But yeah, I recommend everyone to get over there and tune in and watch and be part of it, because it's going to give you a lot, and it's going to give you a lot of information and tips and guidance for people who suffer with any kind of mental health issues. And I know a lot of us have at one point or another in our lives suffered with some kind of form of mental health issues.
Yeah,
I know I have. And yeah, so it's definitely going to be very, very beneficial. So I definitely advise people to tune into that on Thursday, and that's 8:30. That's GMT time.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. If you want to hang around the back, we have a little chill out. Unfortunately, cocktails are off. Bring your own drinks. So I'll see you in 2 seconds. Thank you, Danny. Jason, it's always a pleasure to see you coming onto my show. You bring a certain degree of calmness to the whole equation. A bit like Gaguma does when on my day she's done another super sticker. Right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. K, chat, panel, and the best. Love. You know what? There's a few people that come in that have this calmness that oozes out of them that affects other people. You're definitely one of those type of people, Jason. Are we likely to see more of you on this show, or are you planning to maybe raid a few of the other shows as well?
I
Ad hoc.
I'm not. I don't have a channel. I'm not on any socials.
But you are social.
I do like to pop on Will's channel, and I slap myself around,
In that case, hang around the back, bring your own drink. We ain't got no cocktails. I'm going to put you there for a second, all right? Cheers. Sean, Barry, aka Nicholson. Listen, you're an incredibly polite person. You won't jump in and butt in or anything like that. And I hats off for you, that brother. Sean, Self-Side Shirt Spurs. Are you guys going to be broadcasting this week?
So
what's the plan?
We've got a show 7:30 on Thursday. So just before Tottenham on tour, we might have a bit of an overlap, bit of poor planning, but I guess eventually we're all going to start overlapping depending on when the shows are on. We've got a show on Thursday with the one, the only Mickey Hazard on.
Wow!
So please hop on to us, and then obviously jump on to Tottenham on tour with their mental health special. I am also I've donated my ticket for the Southampton game so that they can raise money for that.
Fantastic.
So head over and catch us. Obviously catch Tottenham Tantrum Gold on in the morning, then catch Eugene on 12:30, then come and join us, and then come and join Tottenham on tour. After
Fantastic.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And come on, you Spurs.
Brilliant. Come on, you Spurs. Ellie.
Yes.
You know, it's fun to have you. You know what? Your voice is incredibly clear. Like everything's
At
really clear now.
last.
Finally. And it's
I
a bit.
think it's
Well,
because
you know
more
what?
people have come off.
I think, yeah, you know, maybe that's what it is, but I'm not too sure. But it'd be great to hear that voice in the back room. You're going to hang around for a bit, yes?
Yeah, I will do. No
Brilliant.
worries.
Ellie, any plans for you to be going out there and
I'm
jumping on
going
some
to
other
go
streams and
into
so on?
that mental health. Obviously, that stream for mental health, that'd be fantastic because that's going to be helping a lot of people, you know. And,
8 o'clock on Thursday.
Yeah, I've got a couple of tickets for the Wolves game. So what I'll do, I'll keep one and I'll give one to that stream, which I'll tell them on Thursday, and then tomorrow I'm on Mari's show. He's invited me on his show, so I'm looking forward to that.
I love that break. I love the Wednesday, the Love Lounge. Oh yeah.
Yes.
But, yeah. So Ali,
Lounge.
Ali, if you want to hang around just a little bit, that'd be really nice.
I will do.
So I'll see you in the back. Thank you very much, Ali. Will, if you're still there, are you still there? Will,
I am here. I'm here.
Excellent, Will.
Hi, Will.
Would you like to let the viewers know maybe why there's not been a show but when you may be coming back for your show?
Well, yeah, I've been out of town last 3 or 4 days. Well, I guess since Wednesday of last week, and on a business trip. I do trade shows and stuff like that for my company. So I was out there shaking hands and kissing babies, and I will be back. I'm probably gonna do either stream either tomorrow or Thursday, just to kind of like
catch up.
I'm taking the next 2 days off from work because I was working all weekend. So I'm probably doing like a transfer roundup, kind of going over the transfer window, kind of in detail, going over the 2 guys that we got, going over a lot of free agents that we didn't go for, that we could have at least signed pre-contracts with, even if they didn't want to come. Guys that are up for free, that are decent players and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll probably either be doing that tomorrow or Thursday or both. I don't know yet. So whatever.
Brilliant. Listen, viewers out there, make sure your notification bell is on. That way you'll be notified when the show's about to appear for that day. Will, if you want to hang around the back, no cocktails, unfortunately. You have to bring your own. So I'll see you there soon, hopefully.
That's fine.
Thank you, Will.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Eugene.
Yep.
Just the 2 of us. Oh.
Just the 2 of us.
Oh, well, there's someone in between. You got Conte on your side, and I've got this guy over here. So I think that's a fair trade. Eugene, you've got a show coming up tomorrow.
No, I pushed it back to Thursday, right? A bit earlier this time, just to accommodate some of the Australian fans. So let's see. I'll be doing my show on Thursday, your time, about 12:30 p.m. GMT.
Yep.
Right. My time about 8:30 p.m. GMT. So if you have time, guys, hop on the Spurs Vision TV. Right. We do a nice, cool laid out show, and let's get some feels of the Asian fans, how they feel about the transfer window and all that. And let's see how we go from there.
Brilliant, Eugene. Listen, Eugene, I'm going to do a couple of things for the viewers out there. I'm going to put on that video that I played earlier, the one with the green field. And then after that, we'll do the regular outro. Listen, viewers, thank you very much for tuning in right now. If you can, please like and subscribe to this particular channel. If you want to become a Patreon member or a particular member, please do so. It does help the overall channel. And if you can, like any of the other types of shows that the other panel have appeared on, that would be grateful. It shows this community really loves everyone in here. So with that in mind, stay Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.
Levy out.
Levy out.
Can't leave me, you bull cunt!